Hello? Is this thing on? It says
Waiting.
Yeah, it says waiting for John. There it is.
There it is.
You guys see me?
There's an ad?
What's it
You
doing?
must not be signed in if you have an ad.
Star Trek.
There we are.
There's a new Star Trek movie coming out. Wow, awesome. Hey everybody, this is Johnny Beane. It's 12:14 a.m.
in the East.
In the East, which I am not, and so that makes no sense. It's 9:15 p.m. October 5th, Rocktober.
Oh, don't be that guy. We just got through with September, damn it.
Oh, we forgot to do that.
Yes, we did. Thank your deity of choice. September. Rocktober. Stop it.
Just because you're a radio guy doesn't mean that we have to.
Oh, it's the worst.
No, man.
It's the worst. You know, the suck part is now we have to go into Movember, which means everybody can't shave.
Oh, well,
no shave November. Man. Yeah,
it doesn't have to be in November, but
I was about to get rid of this thing, you know. Well,
you got a month.
I got a month. Straturday night, everybody, welcome. Before I forget, subscribe to the channel. Leave a subscription. Click the bell as well, and that way you'll know every time there's new content or every time we go live. And what's the other thing? Oh, thumbs up. Leave a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. And tonight we have Neanderthal. There he is.
Hi, kids. Don't do drugs.
It's a great shirt, by the way.
Oh, you like that?
The Magnificent Morocco, I remember.
Little old school Magnificent
Real
Morocco.
old school WWF.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say, E or F, but
I mean, you could even go even older and go WWWF, which is not easy to say from somebody from New England because you say WWW.
Vince Senior.
Yeah, and the cool part, if you Google my
here we go, Johnny, right into wrestling.
You're right into it.
Well, let me introduce you first, John BL.
There you go.
I'm here as well.
I won't go too far into it, but if you want to know why the Magnificent Morocco shirt, all you have to do is Google or YouTube Magnificent Morocco meatball sub. And he's in a wrestling match.
Seen that one.
Oh, it's awesome. He's in a wrestling match with some loser, you know, back when Saturday morning wrestling was a big deal. And during the match, Captain Lou Albano has a meatball sandwich on the side of the ring, and he'll pile drive the guy and then walk over and take a bite of his sandwich and go back and so he's eating his sandwich during the match. It is the single greatest wrestling moment of all time, except for at the end of the match, I guess some sauce or something ends up on the floor, and Captain Lou Albano is walking and slips and takes a header.
Like
and
for real?
Yes, and they leave it in. They don't edit it out, and you can hear Pat Patterson and Vince McMahon start cracking up, and they're just like, "Look at him, that fat slob Albano! He fell down." It's like so good. So that's why the Magnificent Morocco is my favorite wrestler of all time because he ate a meatball sandwich during a match, and they say during the match, well, there's nothing in the rules against eating a meatball sandwich.
I guess not.
So there you go. That's why.
Man.
Hi, JR. Good to see you, too.
That sounds familiar. Hey, JR. JR's here. Soda's here. Ron Paget is here. Alex Radford. Good to see you, man. Clayton James Hicks.
Yeah.
Clayton James Hicks, 1998 Hicks is here. Today is Straturday. And happy birthday to Rob Johnson.
Happy birthday, Rob.
Oh, happy birthday, Rob.
It's Rob's birthday. It's Carlos. It's his birthday. David Nesdahl and Carlos and Rob Johnson all went out for dinner tonight.
Oh, wow. Maybe they'll chime in later and they'll all be...
it's after midnight. They're all probably passed out.
Wow.
No, this was hours ago.
This would be the time to see them, you know?
This was 5. This was like 2 in the afternoon, my time.
Yeah.
When this was.
Maybe they are all out then.
Day drinking.
Steve Carmichael.
Hey.
RG Pops. Brent Z Rocks. Hey, Brent, good to see you. Brent's a long time friend. Thomas Santiago, Mike is himself. Will Dunham. Will, was that you sending me those messages earlier? Hobo Roadie. Awesome.
Hobo Roadie.
James Gum is here. Wow, 65 watching, and we got how many thumbs? 26 thumbs ups. Leave a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get to 100 tonight.
We say hi to Janice Lala. She says WWE is headquartered in her hometown. What is that, like Connecticut?
Stamford, Connecticut.
Stamford, yeah.
Yeah, Stamford, Connecticut.
Hey, Janice.
Hey, Janice. That's cool. Hey, Danny. Hey, Stan. Is that a Vox guitar behind me? I wish it was, Soda. No, it's an Epiphone, and I actually got the strap attached to the guitar finally, and we're going to show you guys a little later. Hopefully it's right, although it's probably not.
Does it seem like it's connected the right way? Or, I mean, does it hang correctly? Does it
you're talking about the strap,
take the weight?
right?
Yeah, talking about the strap. Does it take the weight off?
Not really.
No,
not really, because I think
I was gonna say, you think they could make a strap like those balances for cameras? You know how like they see the steady cams that you see on movie sets where the camera weighs like 900 pounds, but the guy can walk around with it because it's somehow counterbalanced.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like this.
ZZ Top, when they had it attached to their belt and they could spin it and they could do whatever they needed to. Or the Steinberger too, had that the special strap where it was like pretty free floating.
Oh man. Yeah, I think that strap, it's made for like, well, because it's a signature strap. A guy, what's the guy's band? Where's Jay? Where's Jay at? Jay knows all this stuff.
Isn't the name written on the strap somewhere? Isn't that the point of a signature strap?
You would think. No. Yeah, I don't think it's written on there.
No, all right.
Let's see if we can find it.
I didn't see it on there.
It's in Discord, isn't it? Didn't you post it in there?
Oh, yeah, maybe it is. Hey, Ron John's here. Jimmy T is in here. And yeah, I think because the guy's signature guitar, who the strap, supposedly his guitar is like super heavy, so I think it's made for like
relieves the weight.
Yeah, because it balances the weight. It makes it.
What guitar is heavier than a Les Paul?
I don't know. Well, his guitar is a Les Paul,
right? I mean that's. I don't know that there are guitars heavier than Les Pauls. I mean,
I'm sure there are. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're
mahogany,
so
a mahogany body like that is very.
See, the
heavy.
weight. Funny part is it's not the mahogany; it's the maple. The maple cap is what gives it so much weight.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah, I mean, it's still mahogany, still heavy.
That's basically what I have.
It's the maple cap on top of the mahogany.
And this is heavy. Yeah. This is I don't know how many pounds, but this is heavy, and it's mahogany with a maple top. Yeah.
Yeah, the maple top is what gives it the big weight, the heavier weight. Mahogany is obviously a solid wood, but when you slap a maple cap on top of it, that's what gives it all the extra oomph.
Mm-hmm. Oomph.
Mm-hmm. James Gum
gives it the badonkadonk.
The badonkadonk.
Hey, David Ennis.
Trivium, that's the band. It's the guy from
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there we go.
You're right, Tessie. Those acrylic guitars are way heavier. The urethane acrylic, those acrylic things.
The Dan Armstrong.
Yeah.
I think PV made some Wolfgangs of
really.
Those. I think they're, how they're getting rid of all their guitars. It looked like they were getting rid of some of those bodies.
Wow.
At least one I saw on Facebook.
Yeah, there was a guy on Facebook that I guess used to work for PV or bought up their surplus that's assembling them. You notice you'll see him post every once in a while. He's got a bunch of necks and a bunch of truss rods.
Yeah.
Looks like he's he's got his own little building process that he bought. I guess he bought him in bulk from PV, and now he's putting them together and just sort of selling them aftermarket. PV doesn't give a shit. I mean, they got their money.
Right. Nothing wrong with that.
They care. Yeah.
I think the guy worked. I think he worked for PV.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, but I think he got an opportunity to buy all their surplus up, or at least some of their surplus, and now he's selling them off piecemeal or building guitars and selling them piecemeal for people.
Yeah. Okay, Jay will be here soon. Awesome. Dane Zimmerman, dude.
Dane,
Zim's guitars.
Zim.
What are you doing, man?
He's chasing me because I owe him $100.
Uh-oh.
I want my money, man. I want my money.
Hey, Amanda.
Amanda.
I got screwed out of a deal last week, and I owe Dane $100. So
Uh-huh.
I was supposed to trade a guitar. There was this guy that had like the micro stack that I have behind me, the Marshall micro stack, the Lead 12.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
The Lead 12 micro stack. I love those. And there was a guy that had one on Facebook Marketplace that wanted to get rid of it, but he wanted too much money for it. So he was looking for a trade. So I said, well, what are you looking for? He says, well, I'm looking for a single cut, like a Les Paul style. I go, well, I got an Epi Les Paul if you want. He goes, what color is it? I'm like, it's red. He goes, can you get me another one? I'm like, sure, I'll go buy you a guitar. So I went to Dane's because he's always got them. And as I got there, I sent him a bunch of pictures of these guitars that I would buy him to swap for this thing. And long story short, he ends up asking me to buy him a Tom DeLonge Strat, a Squire Tom DeLonge Strat. So I grabbed that for him, and we make a deal so that he gets off work at 3:00, and I'm going to, meet him and swap this thing out for him. Long story short, again, several texts back and forth, and he flaked on the deal. So I hit Zane up. I go, hey man, I'm stuck with this guitar. I don't want it. Can I bring it back to you and just for credit or something like that? He goes, sure. So I walked it back to him, and we agreed on a deal for me to walk out with a 5150 2x12 60-watt combo for like $400. I gave him, he already has 300. By the time I showed up, he had already shut down his credit card swiper and all that stuff. So I owe him $100. So he's waiting for me outside the door right now.
Well, you know where to find him.
Yeah.
What's in the cabinet with that micro stack? Are those 1x12s or
110s?
110s. Okay.
1x10s. Yeah. Yeah. It's a sick little solid state amp. They made them back in the mid 80s. It was back when Marshall was doing their solid state JCM sort of emulation series. There's no real big circuitry in it. It's a solid state, tiny little, amplifier box with a couple of transistors in it. No reverb, no nothing. I mean, it's just presence, volume, and a 3-channel EQ on it. But they crunch really, really well.
How many watts is the head?
12.
Oh, that's not,
It's a 12 lead 12.
Lunch box. I mean, pre-lunch box.
Yeah,
even.
But it's a legitimate stack. I mean, it's 3 pieces. It's the head and the 2 cubes, and they made newer ones. They made the MG series. They made these MG15 micro stacks, which aren't as good. They've got a little bit more wattage, but who cares at that point? It's really about the tone. Those little MG12 micro stacks are awesome. And to get another one would have been cool because then I could have like my wall of stacks that I'm 3 feet taller than. So it just would have been nice to have them like woodworkers. Yes, very much so.
Stonehenge.
Yeah, everybody that has them loves them. And add my name to that list. I love them. I don't need that. I've got other amps, but those things are just cute. You can bring them like to your office or put them anywhere. And they make a shitload of noise. They're very loud.
Yeah, I always just it's like Marshall watts. Marshall watts were always different than like a PV.
Right.
That's rated at 80 watts. If you have a Marshall that's rated at 80 watts, that's like 5 times louder than a PV that's rated at 80 watts.
Well, there's a reason why Marshall is the first name. There's a reason why those are the amp that is the measuring stick against which everything is made, with the exception of high watt amps that originally used to be Mesa. Clearly, Crank did a good job. Randall did a good job of making solid state versions. And then, of course, PV sort of eclipsed everybody with 50/50s. As far as a high gain amp goes, but Marshalls are still. I have a JCM 900 combo that is every bit as crunchy and loud as any other high gain amp. It's one of the dual reverbs. It lacks a little bit when you grab that PV combo and you put it next to a Marshall combo. That whole Marshall watts thing was eclipsed. PV got it right when they built those 5150 amps.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, when I was talking about PV, I meant before.
Right.
Back when I was in garage bands in the late 80s, it was like, I remember the first 80 watt bass amp that I had, and it was and then I got an old tube bass amp, an acoustic brand tube bass. I think it was tubes. Actually, no, I think it was solid state. That was what
I have an acoustic
was known for. And I mean, that thing was just louder than anything. 1x18 cabinet, and
Yep.
My God, it was like having your own little PA system.
I'm running acoustic B200, one of the newer acoustic B200s, which eventually, I think it was Guitar Center's house brand for a while. I think Guitar Center bought acoustic and brought them back a few years ago.
Yeah, they came back. I mean, they were huge in the 60s, late 60s and 70s.
John Paul Jones played them.
Mm-hmm. All Santana played them. I mean,
right.
I think the Chicago Terry Kath played them. You know.
Yeah, I'm running a B200 through a 410, a PV 410, and it thumps.
Yeah, I didn't know what I had back in the day, and I got it at Daddy's Junkie Music. I think it was a 400 series guitar amp. It had 2 channels. It had, reverb. It had vibrato. It was 160 watts, I think, or maybe even louder. And then it came with a bass cabinet, a 1x18, which was, it probably weighed 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And I think I got both of them for $100 each, for the cabinet and for the head. And the head was amazing. I didn't, I got rid of it, shortly after I had it, but that's another story. All the amps that I remember my mom got me a Silvertone amp at a yard sale, a beautiful, like a 2x12 cabinet with probably like I don't know, what was it? Probably a 15-watt head or whatever it was. And, I plugged it in. It was a tube amp. I didn't know what I was doing. I cranked it all up and I didn't sound right, and I was like, this thing's a piece of crap. But come to find out, those are collector's items now. The old Silvertones, and
I had a
tube amp from the '60s. It's crazy.
I had a '68 Princeton Reverb that I got. It was a legit, and I say was because the story is convoluted here. I was dating a girl, and her grandmother lived in New London, Connecticut. I told the story of us going to Connecticut College a couple of weeks ago when we used to make fun of the Coast Guard Academy kids across the street. But her grandmother lived in New London, Connecticut, and in the basement of her house was like 6 or 7 amps. There was like a K and a couple other things, but there was this tiny little Princeton Reverb. I think it might have been a 1x12, but I think it could have been 2x12. I think it's a 1x12. And she's like, "You can have it if you want it." I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want it." Yeah. Old lady, I'm dating her granddaughter. Oh, it's so cute. So she gives me this Princeton Reverb. And I played it for a long time. And this is like 1986 or 87. And my little brother was in a band and he wanted to borrow it. So I let him borrow it. Long story short, again, his rehearsal studio burns to the ground. I think his guitar player set a fire to it and ripped them off. And my Princeton burned in the fire. Nobody ever seemed to be able to find it.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So that was, and that's another one of those amps that, when you're 17, 18 years old, you have no business having that amp because you don't know what it's worth and what it can do. And I mean, let's face it, Fender clean sound is what everybody, again, we talk about the measuring stick. For clean tones, Fender makes the greatest amp of all time. Their cleans are amazing.
So everyone's saying my mic is clipping. I turned it down. I don't know. Is that how's it sound on your end, Paul?
I can hear you, but I don't know what kind of mic you use. So it could be.
It's kind of a ghetto setup, but I don't know.
Yeah, your mic is not in the frame. Yeah, you sound okay to me.
You sound normal to me. I'm watching the video now. And
a little bit of ring, I get a little bit of the room ring, but I get that every week.
Hey. Yeah. How's it sound?
No, you sound fine.
All right. I mean, I monitor myself on the second mixer.
Yeah.
So, well, let us know if it is. Someone says not clipping here. Ron Pad just says so.
I get the occasional digital stutter, but that could be, the shitty air, Wi-Fi that we're all getting or whatever from
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, that's probably could be my Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's your Wi-Fi out there in Radio Land.
Yeah, it could be
Internet land.
And let's face it, the idea that we're in 3 different parts of the country. And able to do this is something that I think we take for granted a lot of the time.
That's right.
I know.
Soda says it sounds better. All right. Well, I'll keep it. It's at 11 o'clock, so let's keep it there.
Sounds fine by me.
Yeah, it always sounded good to me, but I don't know. Maybe I can rewind a little bit and see what they're saying. And I just got my dinner, so I'm
what are you having?
trying not to. It's chicken on It's like chicken fajita salad
Sounds good.
is what it is.
Homemade.
I'll just have a salad.
Yeah, homemade.
Look at that.
Although I don't know if
It's not that appetizing looking.
well,
Johnny, why are you eating dinner at 9:30?
yeah, yeah. Why? That's what I was. That's what I was. That's what I was asking. Yeah, I know.
I have a Papa Gino's Italian sub waiting for me. So
waiting. Bring it in, man.
no, I already had dinner. That's my late night. That's post show.
Wait a minute. So you already had dinner?
Yeah, it's midnight.
You had dinner.
I had dinner hours ago.
Then you're gonna have a sub at 4 in the morning.
You're supposed to eat too.
Well,
yeah,
you're gonna have a sub.
Why the hell not?
You're gonna have a submarine at 4 in the morning.
A submarine, a grinder, a hoagie.
In Southie, we call it a spucky.
Oh man,
heard of that one.
In Southie, it was a spucky. Papa Gino's, for those that are watching on the chat, is a local pizza place, sub shop in the New England area that makes pretty kick-ass pizza and sandwiches. It's one of the few things I miss about living in New England. I think it's only like New England and maybe parts of New York.
and in the last year they closed about half their shops, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, they make a pretty damn good pizza.
But
it's like
and that's what I had for dinner actually. Papa Gino's.
Do you remember Sbarro's?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Papa Gino's is like Sbarro's.
Really? I don't think I've ever had Sbarro's pizza, and it always looked pretty cheap. That's like mall pizza, right?
Yeah, it's airport pizza.
Yeah, airport mall pizza, yeah.
Yeah, but Papa Gino's is like the kind of pizza that you would get on the boardwalk in New York or New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
It's hand tossed. It's good. It's really good.
Really, it's the cheese that makes it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thin crust cheese.
And I can't get anything like that here in Arizona. The closest thing I can get to that in Arizona is a place called Ray's, which is supposed to be based out of New York.
Ray's
but it's run by a couple of Armenian guys. Ray's famous, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can get that here.
Oh, you must remember Sal's. I think Sal's went out of business too. Boston.
No, I used to go to the Regina in the North End.
Oh yeah, I've been there. Yep.
I don't know how this became Pizza
I
Talk.
Pizza Talk. Why the hell not?
Yeah.
And I went to school in New Haven, so New Haven or New Halen, we have to be specific on this show.
New Halen.
They're well known for their pizza shops, Pepe's and what's the other one? Modern. So when I was living down there, that was, I'm not a big fan of New Haven pizza necessarily, but
I hate to argue with Micah's himself, but Chicago isn't pizza. That's a pie. That's a cake. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great, but it's not pizza. It's this thick.
Yeah.
It's a pie.
It's like lasagna.
It's awesome. Don't get me wrong.
It is good, yeah.
It's awesome. We have a Lou Malnati's here, which is the big Chicago pizza place. It's insane.
Isn't that what Pizzeria Regina had their own thick crust, didn't they? I thought that was what they were known for.
They may have added that. No, you're thinking of what the hell is that one? It was a Chicago deep dish pizza
in Boston. Yeah,
I used to be able to get it in Boston. I forget what it was.
Anyway,
yeah. Now I want a pizza.
I know.
I'm gonna go to Sal's from Do the Right Thing. Sal, give me a slice of that extra cheese.
Do the Right Thing. Oh, it's a great film.
Yeah. Extra cheese is $2.
Rosie Perez, Spike Lee.
That's the first time I ever heard the name Mookie.
Mookie. And
when she said it, I was like, I want to punch you in the face every way she said it.
Oh God. Yeah, I heard it was annoying. Yeah, but it was a good movie. I like that.
Yeah, it
was it Danny Aiello?
Yeah, Danny Aiello. It may be one of the two guys that says the word "fuck" the greatest in a movie. It's either him or Dennis Farina, who you would remember as the gangster in Midnight Run, the gangster in Snatch, the gangster in I
remember the name. Yeah, I'm sure
you know who he is.
Yeah.
Big, thick eyebrows, kind of tight, kinky hair, big mustache. You know who he is. But he says it's either he or Danny Aiello for the who can say the word "fuck" the best in a movie. Sorry, De Niro.
Sam Jackson. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson too, but no, not the same. Dennis Farina says it's a work of art.
Well, then there's the other quote from it. D, motherfucker. D.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
John's eating. He's just like, you guys just keep going.
I'm eating as fast as I can.
Yeah, Soda. Feed it to the pigs. Do you know what's the word?
Was that
Snatch.
Snatch? That's Brad Pitt, right? I gotta watch that again. That's a good movie.
Oh, such a great movie.
Man.
Yeah.
Maybe after the show's over, I'll watch that.
JR's is a great one. Dennis Farina was in Get Shorty. He's the one where he's
okay. Now I can picture
Ray
him.
Barboni from fucking Miami.
Yeah.
You know, when this is such a great scene in that where Gene Hackman has got the gun and he's pointing it up from the floor. He's getting his ass kicked and he's pointing the gun up to Dennis Farina, and Dennis Farina grabs it. Come on now, Harry. We don't have time to fuck around.
Yeah. Now I can picture him.
Yeah. Ray Barboni. Oh, and my and the line that Soda was referencing is do you know what Nemesis is? And that is Bricktop from Snatch, one of the great movie villains of all time. Bricktop, big Coke bottle glasses.
I watched Snatch, the movie, during Super Bowl the Super Bowl of 2000. I went, instead of watching the Super Bowl, I went to the movies, and I think I went by myself with a tall boy, a Coors tall boy, and I went to see Snatch instead of the 2000 Super Bowl.
Snatch is a great movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Fantastic movie. Yeah. Bricktop is one of my favorites. Snatch is, for those people that have never seen it, it's Madonna's husband, whatever that guy's name is.
Oh yeah,
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah. The Guy Ritchie movie, and it's a caper movie, and it's really well done. It's kind of in the same vein as a Tarantino, so to speak, but funnier.
Or like a Train Spotting, or what was the Lock, Stock? I think that's him. Lock, Stock, and two smoking barrels. That's Guy Ritchie, I think. Guy
Ritchie, yeah. And it's you're right, Mike is in self. Dennis Farina was a Chicago cop at one point, and became an actor. But just a really good movie. Snatch is a great movie. The thing is, Brad Pitt plays a Cockney traveler, an Irish traveler, and he's got a really, really thick Cockney accent, and he speaks a million miles an hour. Fun fact, one of the guys that's in that movie was also the lead singer of Steel Dragon in that horrible rock star movie. I don't know why I know that, but I do. And it's an early Jason Statham movie.
Oh, was it Statham?
Yeah, Jason Statham is in it very, very early on in his career. And who else is in it? It's Benicio del Toro.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, let's download it.
There you go. There's a movie for you to watch later on. So now we've done pizza talk, we've done movie talk.
Yeah. How far can we go?
Well, we did a little bit of a guitar talk earlier. We'll do some more.
We got to wait for Jay and see, because Paul, you got a new guitar for us to show us, don't you?
I got a couple over the past 2 weeks. I picked up 3 Ernie balls in the last month and a half.
Man,
so yeah,
you sent one my way. I don't even have one.
Yeah, those are the ones that I like. I mean, I've got a couple of PVs. I got rid of my Fender EVH for whatever reason, and I've mentioned this before. I don't bond with them. That doesn't mean they're not great guitars. They're fantastic guitars. But I don't know if you've noticed, but I got a bit of a weight problem. I stand 6'1" and go almost 300 pounds. So one of those guitars feels kind of like a toy in my hand. The body of the Ernie ball feels better. It just that feels like we talked about Les Pauls. That's the other guitar that I collect is Les Pauls because they're big and they're beefy, and I don't feel like I can break one. So I bought a couple of Ernie balls, and of course I banged my credit cards pretty hard. Now I'm gonna have to sell a couple other guitars to compensate for it. But when you see a good deal, you can't let it go. So
sure.
I did. So we'll get into that in a little bit. Hello, Fruitcake Tony.
Hello, Fruitcake.
And the necks on the Ernie balls just feel great for me.
Well, that was the neck that was, that was the neck that was modeled after the 5150 era, wasn't it?
They've all been modeled after that since then, but that was the first one, yeah. And they're not as flat as the PVs. The PVs are a little bit flatter and a little bit wider. The Ernie ball neck is one of and I don't know how this is a thing. Maybe one of you guys can explain it. Somebody who plays guitar with a little more proficiency than me, which is everyone. One of the issues with the Ernie balls was the high E would slip off the neck when you were bending. Now, I would think that when you're bending that high E, you're bending up. Why would it slip off the neck? Apparently, if you're gripping the neck and you're pulling down with your finger on the neck, it was causing you to fret out on the low. The high E would come off the bottom of the neck, which is why the axis neck is a 32nd of an inch wider.
Wasn't it kind of
a difference?
Wasn't it rounded a little bit? The neck, where the fretboard where it connects, where it goes around to the neck, it was rounded a little bit on that. I think.
Yeah.
I think you guys were talking about that last night, Johnny, and Dave was talking about it. I think.
Yeah, that's what somebody else will be able to fill me in on that. People who are much more technically proficient. I know that neck is a little more round. It's not a fat neck. It's obviously a tiny little neck. All of Ed's necks are really tiny because Ed is really tiny. So those necks, the PVs are a little bit flatter, but the Fender ones, for whatever reason, they're great guitars. They don't do anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I've sold all my Fender stuff. All I have is Ernie balls and PVs as far as
Ned. Did Ned just jump through the window and fall on the couch? I just noticed him.
It's possible, yeah. He's made his entrance. I think he's playing with the curtain.
Yeah.
You see, he was like twanging the curtain in the back.
There he goes. He's having a great time.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie is small. He does have. You know what's funny? Biggest hands I've ever seen on a guitar player were Steve Vai's. Steve Vai's hands are like twice your hands. Like his fingers are this long.
Yeah.
Like Troy Aikman.
And he's a pretty tall guy too, isn't he? He's
Yes.
6 something, yeah.
Yeah, but his hands look like Wolverine. I mean, his fingers are super long.
Ned is chasing something, his own tail, I think.
His own tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good work if you can get it.
I just had a spider walking on my wall. Now I don't know where he went. That's all right though. I'm like Johnny. I'll let the spiders hang out. That doesn't bother me. It's the other bugs that bother me.
Well, Ned eats the spiders now.
Yeah.
I've learned cats eat everything.
Everything, yeah.
Well, they're the apex predator. In fact, they eat everybody except for that woman that went into the lion enclosure at the zoo the end of last week in New York. Did you hear about that? The woman that there's a video of it. There's like a viral video of it, which I think is awesome. I think it's awesome. I wish it would have ended with the lion disemboweling her. Because no, that's just natural. Like I want there should be a cautionary.
What was her? Well, yeah. Well, what was her situation? How did she end up in there?
She got into the lion. I don't know. It was either New Jersey or New York or something like that. She walked into the zoo and got past the lion enclosure. I guess there's a moat.
On purpose.
She got across that too. Yes, and she's within striking distance of. She's dancing. I think we talked about this last week.
No.
She's dancing. She's dancing on a video camera. You know, a lion can get from 0 to 50 pretty quickly.
My God.
I wish this lion had just jumped this woman and ended her. All of that said, bringing it back to Ned, if Ned could kill you, Johnny, in your sleep tonight, he would. Because cats believe that they are the apex predator, which is why we have feral cats here in Arizona that I feed I feed them outside my house so that they can go after any of the tree rats or any of the scorpions in the area.
That's what he was. He was a feral cat.
Oh, was he?
Somebody found him, and then now he lives here. But yeah, but he's so friendly. I mean,
did he stay in last night, Johnny?
Yeah. Ever since that other night where he didn't come home for a night. He was
so
gone.
He's not really your cat.
No, he is.
Oh, okay.
He is.
I thought he was just like a neighborhood cat that you've now let in.
No. No, he's our cat. He's been our cat now for a month.
There he goes. He sees something.
Yep. He killed whatever it was. That's
like
his
the couch
now.
cushion.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
He's got it though. Whatever
it is, he's got it.
Whatever that nothing is, it's dead now.
Wow. That's a happy cat. Every time I see him, he is just a happy cat now. Good thing you did. Good thing you did there, Johnny.
He's awesome. We were so worried that other night when he didn't come home. You know, when I woke up in the morning, I saw he walked into the bedroom like that morning when I was waking up, and then I didn't see him the whole rest of the day. Called him at night, nothing at night. It wasn't until the next afternoon where he walked back in, you know, and I felt sick, you know.
I get that,
Johnny. That's going to happen again, I'm sure. So I mean, doesn't always mean that they've been, you know, attacked or anything. You know, but, I remember growing up with cats, and sometimes for days at a time, you can't find them.
Well, the previous person that had him, they said he disappeared for 2 days at one time. You know.
Yeah, that's what they do.
So
yeah, they prowl. That's sort of their natural nature. I've got, like I said, there's several ferals that were from a litter earlier this year in my neighborhood. Now they're starting to get older, and I put out food. I won't put out food unless I see one within 24 hours of it. You know what I mean? Because then the morning dove birds come down and they just eat all the food. Put out some dry food. But if I see one within 24 hours, I grab the a cup of food and just throw it out there for them. And they figure it out pretty quickly. They've got their own sort of little perimeter that is their territory. And if they disappear, like there was one that disappeared for months, and I was like, well, the cat must have either a coyote got him or he's old and he died or something like that. And then I was going out the other morning to go to work at 3:00 in the morning, and there he was sitting across the street. Just, what's up? How you doing? I'm like, all right, he's back.
Mm-hmm. That's the one. The biggest thing we're worried about is Coyotes got our last 2 cats. So.
By the way, I hate to correct Micahs himself. No, I understand who you're talking about. Ralph Sands was in that, but the singer for Steel Dragon, the guy that was being replaced by Mark Wahlberg and Steel Panther, originally Metal Shop and Atomic Punks, and you want to go all the way back that far with Drag, but the guy that was the lead singer that was supposed to be Rob Halford, because that movie was based on Judas Priest, that pulls his hair off with the red hair and he ends up doing the river dance. The red-haired guy was in Snatch. He was the lead singer for Steel Dragon. That was the guy that was replaced. That was the premise for the entire movie. Sorry, just getting into the
Thank you.
Yeah,
I've never seen it myself.
Which one?
Rockstar.
That's what I was going to say. I've seen Rockstar. I never saw Snatch.
Oh,
so.
Yeah, Snatch is great.
I always wanted to see Rockstar.
I mean,
I wanted it to
movie.
be a better movie. I wanted it to, but I never heard anything good about it, so I never really watched it. But the premise sounded good. But
well, it was originally supposed to be based on Ripper Owens.
Right.
It was based on Ripper Owens being part of, the whole story. For those that don't know it, Ripper Owens replaced, or Ned didn't replace, but Rob Halford left Judas Priest for a while. Ripper Owens was a guy that was a singer in a Priest cover band, ended up getting the job as the lead singer for Priest. He was the first example of the guy from the internet, only it wasn't internet, it was a VHS tape, that got the job as the lead singer of the actual band. Arnel Pineda, there's a whole bunch of guys now that have done it since then. Yeah. So they make this movie supposedly based upon it was supposed to be about Judas Priest. It was supposed to be the whole story of Judas Priest. And then when they did the Priest screenings of it, the guys in Priest hated it. And their producers hated it. Everybody hated it. So they had to go in and rewrite this thing about a fictional band and all the fictional characters.
See, that would have been a better story. I would have enjoyed that more. If that was
well, it was originally supposed to be.
Yeah.
Hey,
Ladies
Jay.
and gentlemen, Jay Hannon.
I was just playing some cool lick. Something like that.
Jack Butler would have taken your head off for that.
How does it sound with the audio processing off? I turned it off to see how it would
sound. Sounds a little quiet.
It's quiet. It's clear, though. It's quiet, but it's clear.
Oh. Oh, well. There you go.
Yeah, so Mateyevich Mechenko was the guy that's the singer. Mike Mateyevich.
Let me turn that thing off now. Hold on. How's it sound now? Better? For voice, I guess.
I think.
And of course, the other trivial part of that is Myles Kennedy is the guy that ends up replacing Mark Wahlberg at the end.
Oh wow! What's that, man?
How you boys doing?
Good. What do you?
He needs something to wash down whatever it is that he's eating.
Dude, I got a new. I'm putting Barks root beer.
Oh, that's good stuff.
In Captain, and it's friggin' delicious, man.
Barks has bite.
It does.
Oh my god.
One of the root beers with caffeine, am I right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I dig it. Yes. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody doing good?
He's like root beer.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever had what is it? That pumpkin beer, Pumpkinhead?
I like the pumpkin beers. I like anything of those October beers are great.
Yeah, some of them are pretty good, but there's one Shipyard Pumpkinhead is the one it is, and it's really good if you it's called the Rim Job, and what it
And
is,
they put this.
yeah, you put the salted caramel around the rim. It's friggin' delicious, and then also if you mix, I forget how many ounces of Captain with the Shipyard Pumpkinhead, it's really good as well. So let me pop this chat out.
That's cool.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Especially when you want to.
I had I had pumpkin pie for the first time in my life, like 2 years ago. We made a bit out of it on the air that I'd never had pumpkin pie, and my partner brought it in and sat down. I was like, "This is awful, awful." Like pumpkin spice, pumpkin anything has no appeal.
You didn't like it?
I don't.
Can I ask you a question about the pumpkin pie?
Sure.
Was it room temperature or was it cold?
Room temperature.
See that you can't, because I love pumpkin pie.
I like a good pumpkin pie.
But it's got to be cold.
Gotta be cold, yeah.
Got to be cold, yeah.
Yeah, it's like PBR. It's got to be cold.
No, because like I said,
or Mad Dog. It's got to be really cold.
I love pumpkin pie, but if it's room temperature, I'm like, no, put it in the fridge for a couple hours because I don't like pumpkin pie room temperature.
I'm like that with Boston cream pie. Boston cream pie, with the chocolate pudding in it. I like the chocolate pudding when it's cooled off a little bit and you get the little skin on the top of it. You know what I mean? And then you eat it and it's like the top part of the chocolate.
Pudding
is that
skin
is,
singles,
yeah. The skin.
He would take an X-Acto knife, and that was the whole thing. And then he'd put them in little plastic sleeves, like an American cheese type of thing. That was his big invention. He wanted to do that.
You have to do like the whatever it is, like the Swiss Miss or whatever it is, the kind of chocolate pudding that you have to boil beforehand and then let it set and cool instead of the stuff that you just buy in the store that's already made. You actually have to. My mom used to.
The way mom used to make
the little powdered stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And it gets a little skin on it. It gets a skin on it, not to be confused with the skin on boiled hot dog water if you leave it overnight.
Oh,
man.
Another thing that's key for pumpkin pie is half a can of Ready Whip. Just
or pecan pie for that matter.
Yeah.
Any of those vegetables that you really shouldn't be making pies out of, like, pecans and well, I don't know if pecans are a vegetable, but pumpkin pie, squash pie,
Pecan is a nut. Isn't a nut a fruit?
But then how do you get pecan pie? It doesn't taste anything. There's no pecans in it. I mean, it doesn't taste like pecans.
Oh, that's my favorite. My favorite pie is.
It is a good pie.
Is it pecan or pecan?
Pecan. I don't know. Is a pecan something different?
No. Any edible pie is just
Thank you, Amanda.
Honest, boys.
Yeah, pecan pie. That's my number one favorite.
No, it's number two favorite.
Everybody in the chat, what's your favorite pie?
Is anybody else?
Man, you're asking for it, Johnny.
Is anybody else hearing Revenge of the Nerds? Oh, hair pie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So guys in the chat, what's your second favorite pie?
hair pie.
Oh, that's my pie.
Why is it?
No, kid, that's my pie.
Oh.
I put that on job applications. Any other additional skills? Eric Cartman voice.
Seriously, you guys can suck a big bag of dicks.
Pie.
That's really good.
Pie. Pie. Man, can you show me your hair pie?
Oh, man.
Hair pie.
Oh, now we've crossed the line.
Well, as long as you're
hair pie.
Voice.
Yes. Well, hair pie is a concept that's no longer existing now because although I think that we're going back to the bush these days.
It was in the 70s.
You remember the
that's
the hardwood floor, it becomes
that's
warm pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
And of course now we make the parsley joke, just push it to the side.
Oh. Where's Mike is himself? Is he in here? He is. He's from Chicago. He lives in Illinois. Speaking of pie, when I was in Chicago in 2009, we went to Ditka's restaurant, and I had the best banana cream pie I have ever had in my
Okay.
life. I just had to throw that out there. It was awesome. Yes. So if
Yeah, we were
anybody's
talking
in
about
Chicago,
pizza. We were talking about pizza before you got here, Jay. Now we all want pie.
It's all been food chat tonight
That's right.
and wrestling.
wrestling.
And now I
Yeah,
That's,
we,
now
that's
I
how it went to
hear,
food. It started out as wrestling, and you guys talked about Captain Lou having
meatball
a
sandwiches.
sandwich, and then it went to
the
food.
meatball sub, yeah. Now, and I'm also hearing Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones in Men in Black. You need pie.
That's right. You're not letting the pie work for you.
You know, I was
You
never
need
a
pie.
key lime pie guy until was it Dexter? Did I see Dexter or something? Isn't key lime pie a part of Dexter somehow?
Well, I think that's a thing that they make down in Florida. Isn't that a sort of a southern delicacy or a southern dessert?
yeah.
As soon
It
as you said
depends.
that, I thought of the intro of Dexter where they're frying up the meat, like
Oh yeah.
rare,
But no,
rare meat.
key lime is a strange thing because it's like there's some good key lime pies and then there's some that just taste really, really fake and artificial and disgusting. So
As soon as you guys mentioned Dexter and frying up the meat, I saw Ray Liotta, with eating his own brain, and what was the follow up to Silence of the Lambs, where Anthony Hopkins cooks his
Was it Hannibal?
I didn't see
Hannibal,
that
yeah.
one. I didn't see the second one.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah,
see
it's one of the creepiest scenes of all time.
Oh.
Where Ray Liotta has been drugged, and Sir Anthony Hopkins removes his skull and basically cuts a little piece of his brain out and cooks it up like Spam and serves it to him.
While he's living, like he's
yeah, and he's like,
awake.
this is good.
Oh man,
Creepy, yeah, it's super creepy.
with a nice Chianti.
I'm not hungry
Yeah,
anymore.
Yeah, enjoy your dinner, Johnny.
Yeah. John, where's that sandwich? Can we look at that? Is it there?
Look at it. It's in my refrigerator.
No, the spider's eating it. Are you crazy leaving spiders in your room? You know where they end up,
I
right?
don't have a problem with spiders.
You know where they end up.
Eddie Van Halen had one in his ear.
Well, I don't know where he went. He did disappear.
He had a
Well-
beetle. It was a beetle in his ear.
Was it a beetle?
Oh,
Yeah, it was in
yeah.
it was in Boston at the Boston Harbor
right.
Hotel.
And I saw them on the show that he came back on. One of the Boston doctors helped him and pulled it out. And
Yeah, Boston Harbor Hotel was where they found that out.
Let me show you a
that was
picture of,
93, I think.
That had
speaking
to
of
hurt.
spiders, a few days ago,
Spiders and hair pie.
Now I got to find out where that spider went.
I was letting my dogs out. I'm on my back porch. Now, it's going to be tough probably for you guys to see this, but this was on.
Nice.
Hold on a second. See? Oh, man. You see its butt? You see all those lights?
Oh,
Those are-
man, that is,
His whole back
yuck.
was full of little babies.
Oh no.
Oh,
And-
babies.
Yeah. Those were eyes looking up at me like,
Please,
please put that slipper down.
thousands of eyes.
Dude. So I'm standing there like, just like, I'm not going to move because I'm going to lose this thing. And next week, my house is going to be infested, right?
Oh God.
So I sent a picture to my wife who was in bed at the time. And she just responds with, no, chew it out. And I'm not going to chance trying to get it out of the door. So I put my slipper on or my sandal.
Oh,
And I felt bad because now, all those
Generations.
all those little spiders are going to miss Halloween, And the thing exploded. It was literally
yuck.
You've all seen those pictures of like the it looks like like a pile of sand or something when they touch it and then they get scatter.
yeah, it looks like
Million-
hair. It looks like hair pie.
Yeah, thousands of little.
That's what I was afraid of. I was afraid of, like, if I didn't step on it with one fell swoop, just bow, I was gonna crush, the big spider. But then they're all gonna be like,
Yes, and they're gonna mobilize like them.
yeah, and then they're gonna come back for me. And I usually don't like, killing bugs, anything like that. But spiders, I don't want them in my house, man. I do not want them in my house.
Oh man, now we're on the bugs.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll throw anything out the door. Like usually if there's a spider, I'll get a paper towel, let it walk onto there and take it outside. You know, the only bugs that
Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
the only bugs that I'm like, no, I got to take the slipper to are the mosquitoes.
Mhm.
That's what you can't let mosquitoes. No. And then there was something else. I forget.
It's around here in the past couple of weeks. Several people have gotten triple E from mosquitoes. It's been a big warning. They've been spraying everywhere. And
Dude, I heard about that in Connecticut. My Boner Jams, Johnny. All his kids now play like little league and softball and baseball and flag football and all this stuff. So he's saying there's a curfew on all the ball fields, like 6:30 p.m. off the field because of the friggin' mosquitoes. I'm like, damn.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's all over the news, and like they had it's fair season around here, like the fall fairs. So they're having
we got ours going
curfews
too,
and curfews for that stuff too.
Nuts, man.
In fact, the Cult are playing right now at the Arizona State Fair.
I saw your post about that. Yeah.
I wanted to go see the Cult, but I don't want to go to see the Cult at the Arizona State Fair.
Is it the same one?
What, the same
Cult?
Cult?
Is it the same band or is it a different?
No, it's the Cult. It's legitimately the Cult. I just don't want it. Like the fair is held at, shockingly, the Arizona State Fairgrounds, but it's in a sketchy part of town, and it's held in the concerts are held inside the Coliseum, which is one of those mid 70s tiny arenas. It holds like 6,000 people or whatever it is, and it was like a basketball arena, that kind of a deal. So the acoustics in there suck. The parking sucks. Getting over there sucks. And there are only 3 reasons to go to any state fair, and those 3 reasons are anything fried on a stick, Raiders gear, luchador mask. Everything after that is sort of a waste of time because you don't trust fair rides. Why would you do that? No. Every year you hear about child thrown from fair rides
because they just threw that
because
they just assembled. They threw that thing together in like 10
from
minutes.
town to town.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. Like, what's this with the cell phone commercial where the guy goes, "Did you put this together?" He goes, "Hey, I put it together myself. I think I did a pretty good job." That's kind of what the state fair is like. And once anything fried on a stick, is it expired? Who gives a shit? Throw it in the hot oil. It's good.
Yep.
Because whatever was living on that is dead again. Once you put it into there you go. You put it into 200 and some odd degrees of boiling grease or 350 degrees of boiling grease. Who cares?
And by the time they get sick from it, we're effing gone.
We're gone.
You see that?
Got stuck for a second.
What happened?
You got frozen for a split second.
It froze mid-laugh. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Little Han Solo action there.
That'll be fridge. That'll be the fun. Somebody needs to get that off the replay and make that my thumbnail. Email it to me, and I'll make that my thumbnail for when I go away.
That's too good, man.
I've never had any of the fried stuff, the fried candy bars or the fried
Oreos.
I've never had any of that. No.
Fried Oreos, they're so good, but like once you eat, you get a couple of them, and you're like, oh my god, I want 8 of these or 10 of these. By the time you eat 2, you're like, oh my god, it's just so too rich, and
fried ice cream, that's good.
Fried pie.
At what point did fried dough become a funnel cake?
I don't know.
Like it's regional. I think.
Is it really? Yeah, because when you're in New England,
in the East it's fried dough, and then it's a funnel cake in the South or out West, something like that.
And in Louisiana, it's a beignet.
There you go.
Down in Louisiana, a beignet.
Beignet.
Beignets. Shit.
And then
it's basically it's fried dough. Beignets are fried dough with powdered sugar on the top. Very healthy.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that the classic fried dough with powdered sugar? Or
yes,
maple syrup and honey or whatever.
Yeah, you can put chocolate, like you drizzle chocolate over it or whatever. Yeah. Well, have that sandwich. You got a sandwich.
What kind of sandwich?
It's all about the weight. It's all about the weight.
What's the backstory on the sandwich?
Yeah, John, whip it out. We want to see that thing.
You want to see it?
What?
The sandwich.
Wait, what?
Is it
I gotta use the room, so I'll grab the sandwich after that.
Well, make sure you wash your hands down.
We want to see that 6-inch.
The most requested thing on this show tonight is a sandwich.
What kind of
This
sandwich
one should
is
just be called "It's Straturday Night, John's Sandwich."
It's sandwich night.
Sandwich night. Sandwich
Stra-
Saturday.
Stratter witch. Stratter witch.
You got to be careful putting certain like subs and sandwiches in the fridge for a while, because if it's got like mayo or anything on it, next thing you know, the bread is really soggy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, well, if you get like a 12-inch Subway, you put the other half in the fridge, you take it out. It's just
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, there's certain, but that's with anything though. Like anything fried. Like if you make it, like if you get like like fried shrimp or fried fingers and stuff like that, you can't put those in the refrigerator. They don't reheat well. It's like doughy. It becomes like rubber.
Anything fast food you can't redo.
Right.
You got to eat it right away. You can't reheat it. You can't. McDonald's French fries.
By the way, who goes?
When they're cold.
Yeah, who goes to McDonald's or goes to Burger King and goes, "Oh, I can't finish this. I'm just gonna have to wrap it up and put it away. That's just too much meal for me." That's like when you open up a bag of chips, like one of those tiny little bag of chips that you get out of the snack machine, and it gives you all the nutritional value, and it's 175 calories per serving, and then you read the bag, it says 4 servings. 4 servings in what world?
Yeah.
In what world is this this little bag of chips 4 fucking servings?
4 servings? There's 4 chips.
Some settling of contents may have occurred during shipping. The bag is this big and there's this much chips in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I guess the contents have settled.
I remember we were driving to Tahoe, the mountains one time, and the bag of chips that we had in the car expanded. Like it was like this huge.
If only
That's
you opened it up
botulism.
and there were more chips in there now,
Yeah.
There's your sandwich.
Oh, there it is.
Papa Ginos sandwich.
That's right.
Papa
Now
Ginos.
the trick is you got to get it dry and you got to put the hot peppers
The
on
fuck
it
is
later.
that?
Sandwich
Oh,
toppers.
there you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Chili peppers.
You're not hungry though right now, though, right?
It smells wonderful.
Oh.
We're gonna wait.
Oh man.
It's Pavlovian. Once you smell it,
put it
you're
back.
in.
We got 4 more.
Now here's the question: how many
4
people
more
just
hours.
saw that sandwich? How many people just saw that sandwich in the chat whose mouths are watering right now? They're like, "Oh, I really
'cause
want a sandwich."
It's late where a lot of you guys are.
Right.
for sandwich now. And I had a peanut butter and Nutella about 45 minutes ago, and now I'm like hungry for that. Whatever that
You
is.
got to plan ahead. You got to plan ahead on a Saturday night.
So that's not. He already had dinner. That's not his dinner.
Well, yeah,
Right?
it's midnight here. I had dinner 6 hours ago.
What do they call it? What was that shit that Taco Bell was serving you? 4th meal? That's what that
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
4th meal.
I didn't.
Fourth
well,
meal.
what I had lunch. I didn't have breakfast, so let's call it my reverse breakfast.
So you're going to eat that whole sub before you go
I
to
don't
bed?
know. Maybe we'll eat what I want.
The
What
spiders.
are you, a
gonna help them
nutritionist?
out.
I know.
Oh.
John, if you eat
I don't
that
think the
sandwich
spider
before
can get
you
into
go
the
to bed,
fridge.
you'll get fat.
Yeah, that's right.
If you eat that sandwich with those hot peppers on it before you go to bed, you're going to wake up with acid reflux,
No,
right?
doesn't
Little
do it to me.
agita.
No,
A little case of the agita.
once in a while,
By the
but that'll help me sleep real nice all day tomorrow.
Fruitcake Tony actually asked a question.
Shit, I meant to get
Fruitcake
a
Tony
beer.
asked about the Van Halen, all the rumors, and whether or not there'll be a Sammy Hagar reunion. And do we think that Roth was fired? I don't know that Roth was fired, but I can certainly say that based upon his current couple of weeks of media blitz, I don't believe anybody else would want to work with him. So I would say, just as he said, it will not be back again. And I don't believe there'll be a Sammy reunion. I think Van Halen as what we know is over. So there you go, Fruitcake Tony. That's my thought on it. I think it's over. Regardless, whatever we think of or know of Van Halen, it's not happening ever again.
Well, my opinion is at this point, the only thing that will bring Sammy back is Eddie being super pissed at Dave and wanting to continue.
Oh man,
And that's to me, that's the only
that's
way.
why more and more I'm thinking Gary's a great option. You're going to get greatest hits, and you're going to get people who like each other on stage.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't know
maybe
if
they.
Gary would even do it at this point.
Well,
man.
yeah,
You know?
but that's the best hope we have, as far as I'm concerned. You got a younger singer. They get along. He's got a great voice,
How do you know
and they're
get
going to do
along?
all the hits from both eras.
It is the 20th anniversary of Van Halen 3.
It was the 20th anniversary.
20,
yeah, yeah.
21st?
Yeah.
20,
Not, I mean,
21 years?
It's pretty unlikely,
Yeah.
but
Oh my gosh.
The great thing about it being 21 years old is now you can get really fucking drunk and listen to it and see if it
now
sounds
I could
better.
actually enjoy it. I would actually enjoy going to see more than I would to see. I didn't go see Dave in any of the recent Dave tours. I didn't see them with Sammy in 04, but I didn't see them with Gary the first time around. But now, I think that's the only time around.
The only time around, yeah.
To me, I think that would be one of the better options. Either that or go out as a 3-piece.
3-piece sucker and a 3-piece.
Well,
That's right.
that is the speculation is that could be one of the incarnations of Van Halen that goes around, which is basically Eddie, Alex, and Wolfgang, because why not? I mean, that would be one tour. Again, this is all assuming that the health rumors that we heard are resolved. Let's get this other thing clear too. You see this thing being posted all over the internet now, that video of Eddie Van Halen walking down Rodeo in front of the coffee shop where the guy is asking him, just assaulting him with stupid mundane questions and calling him the greatest guitar player of all time and all that shit. That video was shot years ago, and it's being shared now as if this is supposed to be some proof that there's no Van Halen situation, no health situation. As you guys probably have already heard, a couple of days ago, Steve Lukather came out and said, I think they're dealing with a health situation. Now, Luke is one of Eddie's closest friends, and he's not saying anything that we don't already know. The reality is that Eddie Van Halen has been repeatedly sick over the past couple of years. He could be ill. Is it terminal? We don't know. Is Van Halen doing anything? No, they're not. Not anytime soon. And maybe never again, because none of them need the money. And I'm sure he's got enough archive material that he can put out. We talked about this last week.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to hear the archive material, but I don't think Eddie wants us to hear the archive material.
It's all when he's ready.
And the archive material hasn't been released because they didn't want it to be released. I mean, anybody that's ever written a song that's not done, you don't want anybody to hear it in its infancy, or unless you have a vision for it.
You can see their point
it's
of
like
view.
it's like it's shit. It's their baby. Nobody likes to be told their baby is ugly.
Remember when Edward did remember when the two dorks used to call him? Remember those two DJs?
Two guys out of Iowa.
They used to call Eddie. I think it was Iowa. It was Iowa. They used to call Eddie. They got his number, and they would call him, and he'd answer the phone and talk to them. And I remember this was back in 2003. This was right before the reunion with Sammy. Eddie was.
Well, this was when Eddie was real sick.
He was
sick.
That's when he was working on the those 3 songs that were going to be on that Best of Both Worlds. Right. And I remember he was jamming out, and I've got all this stuff. I taped it off the internet or whatever, back then. I remember he was jamming. He's like telling these guys, "You want to hear a part of a song?" And they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "No."
Teasing him.
He's like, "Not until it's done." I remember him saying, like, it has to be done.
Well, you mentioned getting his phone number. Fun fact: when For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge came out, the original booklet had Alex's phone number in the center thing. We called a buddy of mine, and I called a girl named Liz Wild, not her real name, was the afternoon girl at WAAF in Boston. We called her and said, "Hey, I'm not sure if you know this, but there's a whole blackboard full of phone numbers on there, and one of them is Alex Van Halen." She called him on the air. He answered the phone, and he was like, "How did you get this number?" She's like, "Well, it's inside the CD." And he went, "Don't ever call here again." Click.
Wow.
So the two dorks got lucky. Because, that if you go back, look at your For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, that blackboard has a bunch of phone numbers on it, and one of them was Alex Van Halen's.
Mm-hmm. One of them was Steve Ripley.
They didn't know. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of phone numbers there that and Liz Wild, we called and said, "Hey, we couldn't do it. We were still, coming around."
John.
Damn, John's packing heat, huh?
I couldn't find these. I couldn't find these a couple weeks ago.
It sounds to me like it.
Where'd you put that submarine?
Yes.
She just pulled out the other submarine.
Yeah.
Yes, Soda. I did ask
like
Mark
that one's bigger than your
Taylor. I did work.
He just put out the all meat.
That's what we're talking.
Yeah, there you go.
about.
There's your blackboard.
But
Yeah.
you can't read it on the CD cover.
Just
The
an
CD
L-
cover.
Well, back then,
Is that the? Oh, that's the second version of it. There was a first version.
that's the second version.
I
There was a
bought this the
fold-out
day it
version in
came
the
out.
center of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. so
Let's
I
see
don't
that.
know.
That looks different.
It does look different.
Let's see that because I remember.
Well, it's split. It's the very first page starts with, and if I were to tear out the middle, it goes over.
Are
the
you
other
sure?
side.
Maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe.
No,
Unless
mine
maybe
is
there
different.
is there another.
Maybe it
picture
was
of
the cassette. It was the cassette version you rolled out, and you could see all the pictures. I remember.
Could be.
Yeah, because I bought. Yeah, the day that came out too. I bought the CD. I bought the cassette, and
Let's go through it.
okay, yeah, that looks okay. That looks right. Okay, I think it was the cassette version where you could see the full picture of the blackboard. Oh, I always liked that picture of those guitars there. Look at that.
Are those Sammy's guitars? You think, or
Is that a
just,
Farrington? No, those are Eddie's.
all acoustic, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a great
hand
picture.
and mouth behind everybody.
That part was always cool. I always wondered if they were just like, faking that or if they were actually singing something.
Hamming it up.
Yeah. And I remember, man, that picture right there. I remember when
Which
that
one
came
with the
out.
feet?
Yeah, the feet. I remember, because you can see right next to that who that, all the, you see them standing there. But I remember showing my friends that picture of just covering up the one with them and saying, who do you think's feet that is? And everybody would be guessing, Wow, I haven't seen some of this stuff
I know, right?
forever, man.
And it had the full back in the day when they would give you the long box for the CDs.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
What's that statue?
To me, that's their best. To me, that's their best tonal album, start to finish.
One of my favorite.
Just everything on that record sounds phenomenal. Just sound. There isn't a flaw from a production standpoint on that record. Whether it's the vocals, I'm a huge fan of Ed's 1990 to 1995 guitar tone. I thought it was full and round. You can actually hear the bass and the drums just pop on it.
Mhm.
To me, both. And it's interesting because you got Templeman on the Fuck record and Bruce Fairbairn on Balance, and yet both of them got a different interpretation, but it still has that signature Van Halen sound. Tonally, I think those are perfect records.
It was Glenn Johns who was the engineer, right?
A co-producer, yeah, Glenn Johns. Funny, Glenn and Andy Johns.
The producer. That's right.
Yeah, Glenn and Andy Johns have been in the control room for some of the greatest records of all time. Like Glenn Johns, Andy Johns, and Eddie Kramer are on every great record that's ever, all these like masterpiece rock records that we talk about. Those guys have their little fingers on it. One of the interesting things about, you may not have ever heard of a band called Detective back in the 70s. It was Michael DeBar's band, and they were on Swan Song. Yes, they were on Swan Song. And if you listen to the first two Detective records, the drum sound is exactly like John Bonham's sound. The same kick drum, the same snare drum. It's that huge pounding sound. And that's because Andy Johns was the guy that engineered it and got that tone. So we all give Bonham the credit for that sound, but it really wasn't.
I always get the mix up. And Andy or Glenn. Who's who? Andy's the son, right? Or Glenn was the 60s guy. He did the Who and he did
Andy,
Zeppelin them.
Yeah. No, Andy did some of Zeppelin too, some of the later Zeppelin stuff.
Yeah.
Mark Taylor says he saw Detective open for Kiss in 1977. I have a friend of mine that saw that tour as well. The Detective records are good. They put out 2 good records, and then they did one of those live at Atlantic Studios, like the Volts record or the Live at the Atlantic Studios in the Bonfire box set that AC/DC put out. They used to do that a lot. Atlantic Studios had their own like broadcast facility
Zeppelin
where
did
they would bring people
right?
in.
Was that
like
the BBC session?
Yeah. No. That's at BBC. That was
That's
the BBC.
different.
This was Atlantic Studios in New York City. I guess Atlantic had their own recording, like a recording studio that you could have a small group of people come in and they could do like a showcase for them, and they would record them for some of these albums that they would eventually give out to radio stations. And the AC/DC one comes in the Bonfire box set. I guess Detective did one of those too.
It's Glenn and Andy. It says they're brothers.
Yeah, I thought they were
Could
brothers.
be. Yeah, I just know the Johns. Andy
And I believe Glenn is short for Glynis.
Glinda, the Good Witch.
I don't know. I just see Glenn.
Yeah, they're on a bunch of records. If you look at their list of their credits, it's like phenomenal.
Yeah, Zeppelin, The Who.
Something in their family DNA. They had good ears.
The Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Small Faces. Spooky Tooth. Steve Miller. Traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Cocker.
phenomenal. And you go back and listen to those records and you go, Jesus, I think
Humble
it
Pie.
might be
The Beatles.
it might be Glenn Johns who is responsible for Jimmy Page playing on With a Little Help from My Friends.
The Eagles. Oh, he worked with everybody. Neil Young.
Damn.
Clapton. Paul McCartney and Wings. The list doesn't stop. You could scroll
on,
forever.
on.
There's no ending to this list of the records this guy's worked on. It doesn't stop at all. The Clash, Joe Satriani.
The greatest rock records you've
And
ever heard.
then look up Eddie
one of the
Kramer,
Jones
who's
brothers
another
on.
one.
Yep.
I've got him on Facebook.
Hey, Brett McCord.
Eddie Kramer.
Yeah. The Eagles. Oh, Jesse Ed Davis. Wow.
Yeah, there's a good interview
Rico wants to see the Van Halen album back there. I didn't know that was a thing still. I thought everybody sort of had that.
I used to have like 10 of those. Long time ago.
They're everywhere.
Yeah,
Wow,
Glenn Johns
done a lot
didn't
of
get
stuff.
along with the Eagles that well.
That guy's done a
There you go.
lot of
There's your
stuff.
Van Halen.
Looney
There's the original
Very
Van
melodies.
Halen with the original logo. That logo was considered too new wave, so that's why they stole the Van Halen, the flying Van Halen from Jimi Hendrix.
From Jimi Hendrix, yeah.
Oh, there's a
They did.
story about that.
Yeah.
We've discussed that before on a couple occasions, right? Is
Wow.
there actual proof that
You brought up a good point. I don't know who said that, but
there
I
are
don't know. I don't know.
There are pictures of that logo somewhere.
right
The Jimi
here.
Hendrix logo.
Yeah, right here.
There you go.
but I thought that was after.
That's what people are saying. That's what you. I mean, it's quite
But this
possible.
is none of that is as cool as my original Christmas with the Devil 45 from Spinal Tap. That
Oh my
that was
God.
released in when the album came
Before
out.
the film,
And
right?
it's before the film, this came out, and it's literally Christmas with the Devil, and the B-side is Christmas with the Devil, the scratch mix, and it's literally the needle going across the record, and then the song starts.
Didn't they do that live on Saturday Night Live? I think they did a Christmas. One of their first appearances was SNL with the Christmas
Big
thing.
Yeah, they did Big Bottom too. I think they did Big Bottom too on that.
Hmm.
I have a friend of mine who said, and I don't know why we're still friends. He goes, "I shut Spinal Tap off because I didn't get it."
Well, the first time I saw it, I didn't
How did you not get it?
I didn't get it. I mean, I thought. I mean, a lot of people go into it thinking that it's a real band, and then they're confused by, well, wait a minute, is it a real band? Is this just a comedy? And
Yeah, when I was 8 years old, I didn't get it.
exactly the first time I saw it,
Yeah, so
I was probably 10 years old or
I
whatever.
don't know if I was 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old, and I was like, "The hell is going on?"
Right. Yeah.
But watching it years later, when I had a brain in my head, it was funny and shit. And it's
Absolutely.
one of those things that, like, the second time you see it, it's funnier than the first.
It's like Monty Python,
The third time you see it, it's funnier than the 2nd.
Mhm.
Do you own it on DVD?
Yes.
All right, watch
The
it with the
commentary.
director's tracks on it.
Yeah.
The commentary, because they do it in character.
In character.
I might have done that.
Yeah, it's a whole different movie. It's like Mystery Science Theater making fun of Spinal Tap as Spinal Tap.
Yeah. And there's
Super
a
funny.
whole sort of second movie of outtakes that's like a 90-minute outtakes
Mhm.
movie from that early DVD.
Oh, I have that. There's also the return of Spinal Tap, which was like a special that they did on Fox. That they actually have a movie called The Return of Spinal Tap, and I have that on DVD too.
Which was
sort of a Spinal
wasn't
Tap
anywhere
nerd.
near the first one.
No, nowhere near as the sequel.
But it was like the
rarely
resurgence
equals.
around '91 when he came
Yeah,
up
when
with
Break
that
Like the Wind
guitar.
came out.
What's the name of that guitar? With all the pickups, it's got like
The Music Man. Yeah.
But there's a name for that
Yeah, it's a
guitar. I can't remember.
Mr. Something.
Yeah, there's a nickname for it.
Yeah, it's Mr. Music. Or
John
Mr.
Biel.
something. I forget it's
What
called.
is it?
Research. But yeah, when Break Like the Wind came out, which was that comeback record in '92 that everybody played on, like Slash played on it, Satriani played on it. All these guys wanted to be on the Spinal Tap record.
Mr. Horsepower.
Mr. Horsepower, yeah. The yellow and red thing.
What's it got? Eight single coils.
Al Face said he saw them on the Break Like the Wind tour.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Guitar player I played with in the '80s claims that he got he has a guitar head, a Marshall 100-watt super lead guitar head. When they went around to do the promo tour for the movie in the '80s, what they did was they would go to a bunch of different towns and the promo tour and all the cities that the shows were canceled in. And they did one in Boston because it's not a big college town. And
I was thinking about that. I can't remember what it was this week. I was thinking about that. What movie was that from? And yeah, Spinal Tap.
They went
to
Boston.
Town.
Not a big college town. And I guess as it turns out, what they would do is they would try to find the band that had the most equipment in that town, and they got open for Spinal Tap so that Spinal Tap didn't have to bring their own backline. They basically had a local band provided the backline for them, and they just showed up with their guitars. So the band in Boston that opened for them allegedly was a band called August. Now somebody can go look that up. But I played with a guitar player who bought a guitar head. Yeah. I played with a guitar player who bought a guitar head, 100-watt super lead from the guitar player in August, who claims that guitar head has a connection, a sort of 6 degrees of separation to Spinal Tap, which is a great story. Yeah. I hope it's true.
John Biel.
Yeah.
You're gonna look up to see if August opened for Spinal Tap. Like
yeah,
84 or whenever.
Amanda Coombs, legend says.
At the channel.
Yeah.
84 at the channel.
And was August the opening band?
Hold on. Spinal Tarp, is that what it is?
Yes. I told you to put it right before. I put him above Puppet Show. I am Lieutenant Hook Stratton. I got to get my hair cut myself, or they'll think I'm in the band. I'm kidding, of course.
That's good. I got to go through everything in '84 at the channel here.
Sorry.
Spinal.
Yeah, when they played in '92, they opened for themselves as I think as whatever the barbershop quartet was, the folk group. Not the Thamesmen. Was it the Thamesmen? Might have been the Thamesmen.
Yeah, that was their acoustic.
Their acoustic
flower power thing. July 5th, Spinal Tap played with Lizzie Borden and the Axes. So
that's a different show.
I'm sure they probably came back through. That was July, so
July.
Anyway, the Stompers. That's a big Boston band.
Yeah.
Are we missing
The
anything?
Fools, the Stompers and the Fools. Probably.
What, in the chat? Yeah, let's see what's going on in the chat.
Talus.
Love Talus.
Talus played November 24th, 84 with Scorcher and Free Will.
Free Will was a band out of Newton, Massachusetts that did not they covered one Rush song because everybody thought they were a Rush cover band.
The Del Fuegos, that's another big Boston band. Anyway.
Del Fuegos.
Yeah. Anyway.
You people can't handle this freedom. I have Talus. I think I have everything Talus has released.
I listened to some Rush today. A little bit of Hold Your Fire, anybody?
Nice. Experience slips away.
Well, my wife told me to turn it off. She likes Rush, but she does not like that
What era was that? Was that like
Over Fire is like 87, I believe.
Yeah, late 80s.
There's some Talus for you.
Oh wow, look at that.
Little Talus.
And a lot of
That's
Talus.
right. Yeah. More they sold at least 2 CDs.
At least. Sound scan.
Apparently they were pretty big as an opening band, They opened for everybody. The
rumor was that that Roth tried to get Billy Sheehan in '81 when they opened for Van Halen. That's the rumor.
Was it Roth or Ed who tried to get him?
I heard it was Roth, but that's the rumor was Van Halen tried to replace Michael Anthony on the Fair Warning tour when Talus opened for them in the Northeast.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. And that's part of the reason why Roth got Billy for the Eat 'em and Smile band is because, I know a guy.
It's a shame how that guy is just minimalized, Like, think of his voice in Van Halen.
Right?
No one listens.
Oh, yeah.
No one listens to Van Halen for the bass guitar. They listen to Van Halen because of Eddie and just his backup vocals were a huge part of that sound, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was watching that show that they recently posted from '78, the Fresno show, and I kind of wrote it off because they reposted that show a few times, but they've actually added footage in the most recent posting. And again, Mike's vocals and Mike's bass solo was part of that, and he brought a lot to the band, especially in the early albums.
Yeah. Well, no.
Well, when you think about it, when you think of Van Halen, I mean,
there was a period when you couldn't hear him in a few albums. Not to the extent of Jason Newsted, but I like Diver Down.
I do love
he's mixed low in '84 too. Go ahead.
I do love the fact that Templeman mixed him down, and So This Is Love live on the record and left it there. I think that is so beautiful. If for those that have never done it, go back to Fair Warning and listen to So This Is Love, and in the beginning of it, when it kicks in, the bass line opens the song. About halfway through the first measure, the bass level drops.
Yeah, I think I've noticed that.
It drops, and they basically Templeman was like, "Oh, hang on a second, let me just get that there," and they just left it that way. They didn't recut it. They just turned the level down in the mix. I think that's beautiful and brilliant. But when you look at Van Halen, you've got those amazing drums. Who, quite frankly, I think Alex Van Halen is one of the more underrated drummers in rock history. He's got his own signature tone. You know it when you hear it.
The snare tone.
Yeah, the that original pop Brown is every bit as. Yeah, that pop is every bit as identifiable as Bonham's snare sound as well. You've got arguably the greatest guitar player of our generation. You've got the greatest frontman of our generation. And then you've got this phenomenal voice. Like when you think about the chemistry can't be created. It either exists or it doesn't. And in that situation, Michael Anthony did that. That voice was an element that he stands out for, that I think was the final cog in the machine. And quite frankly, that's why it didn't work with Wolfgang, because anybody can learn a bass line. And Michael Anthony's bass lines, although more intricate than we give him credit for originally, somebody can approximate that tone, but you can't approximate that voice. And I think there are rumors that voice was sampled anyway, that some of those vocals were triggered from old tapes.
If you listen to there's one DVD out there that has a second track, and it's Wolfgang's monitor mix, and throughout his monitor mix, there's not only someone talking and counting, doing like 1 2 3 1 2, doing that kind of thing, but like there's also a click track. There's a guide. It's a full guide track that you can listen to on one. Right. I think it was the Greensboro show, which is really interesting. I mean, it doesn't count through the whole song, but it'll count them in. And I mean, basically, as like the director of the show, someone is on the monitors directing, at least Wolfgang. I don't know if the other guys had some of those direction cues.
That's what those airs are.
But it's interesting just to see like the separate mixes that they had in the.
I'll tell you, as far as I'm not a huge fan of like rock and metal bands playing to click tracks, unless, like for instance, you have a keyboard part that's playing in the background. You have all this extra stuff, but When it's just a guitar, a bass, drums, vocals, unless they're piping in stuff, which obviously they were, which is why, the click track thing, I think it takes the live energy out of the music.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, one of the things that makes bands magical, and some of those bands that we used to watch back in like when you watch Santana at Woodstock, or you see Yes, when you see a band like that, or Rush, even you mentioned Rush earlier, is the technical proficiency, the ability to be on time with each other and get locked into a groove. And even I think a click track doesn't allow for human swing.
Mm-hmm.
And that human swing is what lets the song breathe. And I know this sounds like a musician
energy.
or getting a little too artsy into it, but that's why you love those live versions of whatever song it is. When you talk about like the version of I don't know, Do You Feel Like We Do from Peter Frampton? That's a groove. They're in a groove, and you can't recreate that with a click track. You're either in that groove or you're not.
Yep.
Imagine Foreplay Long Time from Boston being done to a click track. There was no click track back then. You know what I mean? It was, you had to count it off, and that was all Tom Scholz.
Yeah. I know Joey, the old drummer from Slipknot, he used to do a click track getting him into the song, counting him in so he'd get like a starting tempo. But once like the song kicks in, the click track would shut off and, the rest of the song. But, I just feel, and a lot of times when you're watching a band play live to the album tempo, when you're listening to the album at home, it feels right. But when you're watching a band live play that tempo, it feels slow.
It's too slow.
Slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, is that because it's too slow, or is that because you're conditioned to seeing it faster?
I just
in
think
the live environment.
I just think it's almost the same thing. Like you're watching a band play it live, and there's this energy aspect, and obviously there's some parts where you want to bring it down and maybe even play slower than the album just to give that extra groove and just oomph to something. But I mean, for the most part, you watch, Live at a Net, almost everything is played way faster than the album. And a lot of those songs actually sound cool played that fast, but live, obviously. Like One Way to Rock is cruising. Panama might be too fast on that, if you think about it. But
how much is that? How much is that? Is the GAC?
Oh, it might be, but I'll tell you what, must have been some good stuff. No, but there's something about live energy. You can't to a click.
You mean the Krell?
A band that I recorded, they were talking to me about they wanted to get like the click tracks and they wanted the tempos and they were going to create click tracks for live. And I'm like, I virtually talked them out of it. I'm like, guys, man, you're going to remove the energy. Like, well, our drummer plays a little too fast. I'm like, so tell him to slow down. Like, have him condition himself to play a little slower.
Was their drummer's name Lars?
I wish I recorded Metallica. If I was getting that money. Kidding me?
I got to go to the studio where Bob Rock was doing. It was two cult albums ago or three cult albums ago called Born Into This. And I got to do the premiere with those things. So I'm sitting in. It wasn't Henson. It was the Capitol Studios, and they, sitting in the control room, and they isolated that shit like you see on the, the behind the music things or whatever those classic album shows. And it's phenomenal when you've got 128 channels of tracks and stuff, and they just isolate these things, and when they shut everything down and then just give you the click track.
Yeah,
and you're like, this is where it all started, and then they play you the basics, and then they build the song layer by layer, and then they just take the click track out, and you're like, oh shit. And you think to yourself, it's like the first time you found out. Ready? We're going back to it, Johnny. Pro wrestling is fake.
It is.
What do they call it? Kayfabe?
No.
Kayfabe?
Kayfabe,
Yeah.
Wrestling is real. People are fake.
Yeah,
right?
well, there's a good point. Yeah, it's the sport of kings.
So there's a click track in wrestling.
That's right.
Actually, you ready for this? I'll tell you. The referee.
You're not far off.
The referee has an in-ear, and he is being directed from the control room as to how much time is coming up before the break, when they have to do, when they're at commercials and when they're back, when they're doing live shows and stuff like that. And when they're in in a hold or locked up in a hold, and you hear those yelling at each other, the referee will come in and be like, "Hey man, release that hold, hammerlock." And he's basically giving them direction. The referee is the director, the live technical director of professional wrestling while the match is going on. And you'll occasionally see when a guy's in a headlock or he's in sort of a gripping hold, you'll see this move. That means change the hold.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've seen that.
it's all awesome stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, all of it. It's all so scripted. I mean, it's technical. It's like a ballet. It's a ballet for rednecks. I say that as a fan.
Yeah.
The whole thing is done. It's incredibly well done, well orchestrated, and precise. And those guys don't get anywhere near the credit that they deserve. Not only as athletes, because you think jumping around like that doesn't hurt, it certainly does. Not only as athletes, but as actors, live actors. What they're doing is live theater, not different than what's going on in Broadway. And they do it in a different town every night, and they do it with precision. And it's pretty phenomenal. That's why those guys should be getting paid the way they do.
Well, and also to add something, Paul, to what you're saying is, the whole moves thing. Like if one guy screws up, the other guy could get killed.
Yes.
So there's a lot of
it's a trust thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you need to get right when you're doing that, because it's look at some of that stuff, man.
You guys have seen the movie The Wrestler, right, with Mickey Rourke?
Yeah,
great movie.
That's an excellent film. Yeah.
Yep.
And then the other one, what was the documentary that came out in the 2000s?
Beyond the Mat.
Beyond the Mat with Jake Roberts and behind the scenes of that local circuit that a lot of them fell into, and also the drugs and everything that they all fell into. A lot of them. Yeah, no, it's
incredible theater. It's theater, it's athleticism, it's all of these things. But the referee has a huge part in that. And when you talk about click tracks, yes, the referee has an in-ear monitor, and he's being directed both from the table that they point to where the broadcast table is, and from the directors backstage and the technical director in the truck.
The
just like a
timing of the
football
match,
game.
Nowadays, I'm sure everything is, but there was a time, when they would have the TV stuff, like, the what was it, Saturday night main event, and this, like you said, Saturday morning wrestling shows. But then there was the house shows where you would go to Boston Garden, where I went a few times, and it was probably a lot more. That's probably what the wrestlers like, where it wasn't always everything live on TV. It was just like, let's go out there and have fun.
Yeah, and you'd see Hulk Hogan fight, Bob Smith.
And you could see, and they would actually show, they'd have blood too in like a steel cage match, which they couldn't show on TV. They couldn't always.
I was
show
almost one of those guys.
Really?
Yeah.
I was almost one of those guys. My roommate,
a jobber.
I was almost a jobber. My roommate was a stripper at a bar called Max 2 in Billerica, Massachusetts. And one of the guys that used to hang out in the bar was a jobber named Flying Tony Roy. And
like
Flying
Leaping Lanny
Tony
Poffo.
Roy, yeah, kind of like that.
Macho
so
Man
Flying
Powder.
Tony Roy, I walked in and he goes, "Hey, you're a pretty big dude. You ever think of pro wrestling?" I'm like, "No." Well, you can make $100 a match. I'm like, "Oh, really?" Here's a phone number. And I call, and it's Walter Kowalski, who you might know as
Killer Kowalski, yeah.
Who had a wrestling school in Malden, Massachusetts, which was the next town over from where I lived.
I think that was Beyond the Mat. I think they talked about that.
It's in Malden. And when I went there, I actually called Walter, got him on the phone. It was his answering machine. He calls me back. So he goes, "Come on down to the school Tuesday night, blah, blah, blah." When I got there, China was still Joni Laurer. She still had strawberry blonde hair, or like reddish blonde hair, didn't have the implants, and was training with Paul Levesque, who is Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
They were training under Walter Kowalski. Walter was like 6'7" and old at this point. And he
cauliflower ear. I remember seeing pictures. His ear was all messed up, and a horrible rug, really bad hairpiece. So these guys are wrestling in the ring, and there was a kid that he had to be 400 pounds, young kid, had to be 400 pounds, didn't take the bump, which is what happens when you get thrown around. Didn't take the bump to Walter's satisfaction. So he gets up out of his chair and he goes in the ring and he goes, "That's not how you do it." And he hauls off and fucking belts this kid across the chest, leaves a huge welt. He goes, "That's how I want it done." And fucking clothesline?
crushed this kid. No, just like it was a forearm to the chest.
Yeah, the knife edge chop.
Oh, but
Oh, the
holy
forearm
shit.
stop. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
And he hits him like the kind of shit that can cause a
A
concussion.
heart stopper.
And it was ridiculous.
I can hear
Walter wanted
Gorilla
wanted-
Monsoon right now.
right. He wanted $1,500 to train up front.
Wow.
So I had to pay him I didn't do it. $1,500 up front to train. And he told me I was too ugly for him right now. At the time I was missing a tooth because I had wrestled in high
You'd think
school.
that would play with your character.
Yeah.
You would. Well, this is the thing. He goes, I'm looking for baby faces right now. You're a heel.
Oh.
So he didn't want me. He goes, but he goes, I got your number. You come up with the $1,500 when I'm looking for a heel. I'll call you. And that call never came.
Oh man.
So there's my jobber story. Later on down the line, I would actually do a wrestling match in Memphis, Tennessee, with at the New Daisy Theater. It was an 8-man tag team match, and
Wow.
I almost broke my neck in it.
That was it.
I took a back body drop into the corner and landed the wrong way, and slid out of the ring and grabbed the chair and just basically tried to stall until the match was over.
Oh, man.
I'm out of
'Cause
here.
I almost broke my neck.
So
Yeah, it sucked. So that's why.
When you saw China, so obviously this was before she looked like Sylvester Stallone, right?
Yeah, well,
Bridget-
she still
What was her name?
still had the jaw, Joni Laurer,
No, the
and she still had the jaw.
Rocky Four.
Oh, Brigitte Nielsen.
Brigitte Nielsen. Sorry.
Yeah, she still had the jaw. She had no tits whatsoever, and she hadn't been doing the juice yet.
Okay.
So she was still sort of skinny up top. She had kind of big legs. She kind of had a big ass. And then she lost all that stuff when she started doing the juice. She got really, really ripped
Oh yeah, she
and
did.
stuff. But yeah, that whole thing. And I think Perry Saturn was also training at that time, who's a name that only wrestling fan know.
Yep. I liked when he and Raven were a tag team in the WCW. That was a short time because I think Saturn got injured or something, and that kind of put a kibosh to their tag team. But
I'll see if I can find a picture from my wrestling match. You'll love
Yeah,
this.
let's see that.
It's a picture. It's a picture of me up on the ring, up on the corner in the ring, like like playing to the crowd.
a picture of you holding your neck.
Oh,
No, but I do have it on video. I if I can put the video together, I'll find it here. Let me find those pictures.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it sucked.
Oh, that had to be scary, man.
Yeah, it was scary. Where the hell are those photos? You guys, I'll find them while we're talking.
John BL. John gets up. We see John walk behind you. He's
Yeah.
looking through your stuff. Look, he's in the other room.
Oh, Caleb is tapped
That'd
out.
be good.
Eating a
Yeah,
sandwich.
Caleb's. Yeah.
Caleb.
Caleb is tapped out. No pun intended.
Wrestling talk.
That should be coming to an end pretty soon.
Yeah, it's over.
I love that stuff, man. Especially
I was probably maybe 3 or 4 years that I actually followed it. Back when I was in middle school and went to see some of the matches and stuff. But then after it became, when they separated, or it was WCW versus WWF for a while.
Mhm.
And Hulk Hogan went over to the other side, and I couldn't follow it anymore. And then I got into music, so that took over.
Shit, I used to end band practice on Monday night to watch WCW Nitro. The guys in the band were like, dude, it's wrestling. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I'm watching. It's 3 hours. This is when it was still 3 hours long.
Wow.
Before they went down to 2. But
Pussies.
I know, right?
I remember going through the TV guide every week looking for Saturday night's main event, because it was, only on like the sweeps week that they would put the main event on. But that was like the premiere show. And then the WrestleMania stuff. WrestleMania 3 was the biggest event in history.
93,000 plus. The Pontiac Silverdome.
That's right.
I'm looking still. You guys, we should talk about music, so Caleb will stick around.
Yeah, Johnny, how about that guitar strap? Can we see how far along you got with that?
Oh yeah. Let me get it.
You're just gonna have to redo it again when Boner Jams watches on Friday.
Yeah, I still got to figure it out. I mean, here, let me. What am I doing? Let me grab it. Hang on.
Okay, I'm back. Caleb's back in.
Oh man. I drank two separate times tonight. I had some drinks at well, I shouldn't say drinks, but at what time was that? Around 8 o'clock, and then stopped, took a tiny nap at the foot of the bed real quick after I put Ellie to bed, and then came
it's
back.
It's like tailgating before a football game, like around noontime. That's always, you feel like crap the rest of the day.
Yeah, I don't do it.
Oh.
You got to do it. Take a good long nap, or
Some people
something.
can drink like on different, times during one day, and I'm like, no. So I'm not I'm exhausted. I have a headache.
You gotta pick your time. Yeah, if it's gonna be a day drink, or if it's gonna be either that or you just fall asleep after that.
Man.
What are you drinking, Johnny?
Johnny, just so you know, I'm going to send you those pictures just so I can get them on my iPad. So I'm gonna send direct message them to you.
So Soda says Jay's old a nap. Haha. Dude, I gotta tell you, man.
Oh, I love the nap.
Everybody, you guys, well, Johnny and John probably know, but I'm a night person. I love staying up late. Okay. I love staying up late. I don't wake up easily at all. And this morning I woke up super early because we brought Ellie to some Halloween thing. It's like an hour and 20 minutes away, so I had to get up early for that. Went to bed at 3 something in the morning. I don't like getting up early, man. So when you have to wake up early and go to bed late, it's the worst.
Well, that's
why I take 2 naps.
That's what I'm saying.
You're a radio guy. What time is your shift on the radio?
I start at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday, so I'm up at like 3.
Well, are you a morning?
Sometimes 4 if I can stretch it. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying on the air. I'm saying like
no. I hate the mornings. First half hour of my day, I'm spent on the edge of my bed like this, just trying not to eat a bullet.
Why am I doing?
Yeah, and then I realize homelessness sucks. So I get up at like 3 o'clock, go to work, get out of work at like 10 a.m. Or I get done. The show is over at 10 o'clock. Then we do production and all that shit, meetings and all that stuff. I'm usually home and back in bed by 1 o'clock. I'll sleep from like 1 in the afternoon till like 4:30, and then again from 9 o'clock till 3. So, because I hate mornings, but I got to get enough sleep. And here you go, Jay, just for your edification. There you go. Pro wrestling. Mid 90s, Memphis, Tennessee. And then there's one other one.
Is that the Mid-South Coliseum?
This is at the New Daisy Theater on Beale Street in Memphis. There I am being checked, but I have a chair in my hand. The referee is checking me for a foreign object in my foot, and I'm carrying a chair.
Chair is legal, but I don't want that.
The chair is legal, but you can't have anything in nothing in my boot, but the chair is okay.
That huge toenail, that's not legal.
Yeah. So there you go. So if you ever wonder, yes, I did end up wrestling professionally briefly.
That's awesome.
So radio is only the second worst job I've ever done.
Oh,
that's pretty cool, though.
Sorry, Caleb, had to do it.
So is it weird though, man? You go back home.
What weird?
You go back home, you take your nap, and you wake up. Does it feel like the whole day before was like? I mean, that day seems like yesterday, right?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it takes a little while to get used to. But then I've been doing it for a few years now, so I'm kind of used to it. But the cool part about it is sleep.
Every day for you was like 2 days, right?
Yeah, kind of. And the reason why we do it is obviously I don't want to go to bed at 7 o'clock at night every night to get a full 8 hours sleep from 7 to 3 in the morning. So what I do every day is weird when you live. I probably wouldn't do it this way if I lived on the East Coast still, but because we live on the West Coast, the way the news cycle works is obviously when I get up at 3 in the morning, it's 6 o'clock East Coast time. So I get a chance to see what's going on in the news, what happened in the overnight. and then we I get in front of the computer like we are right now, and I'll do production. I'll, if we have to do a song or something goofy about it, go do the show. When I get off the air, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, East Coast time. The news sort of resets at about 5 o'clock on the East Coast. That's when we start to get the evening news. That's 2 o'clock my time. So what I do is I go to bed. I try to go to bed around noon and sleep till about 3 or 4 o'clock. That's 6 or 7 o'clock on the East Coast. Now the entire news cycle has reset, and I can see what happened throughout the day that we can talk about on the show the next morning. And there's something to be said. People in Central America and South America got it right. In Phoenix, Arizona, the hottest part of the day is noon to 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night. So why not take a nap? The siesta idea. It's the best way to sleep. I can sleep through the day. All the kids are at school, so I don't hear any kids screaming or anything like that. It's pretty quiet during the day. So it's the best time to sleep. That said, I would prefer to be up at night. I like being up at night, which is why doing this on a Saturday night, you guys on the East Coast, it's, 2 o'clock in the morning, but for me, it's only 11 o'clock and I'm ready to go.
That's how my weekends are. It's a reverse. I get up at 7:30 every day and during the week, and then I'm up until, sometimes 5 on a weekend night. And then I sleep all day Sunday, and then it resets, That's pretty much how my weekend goes.
Yeah, I reset on Sundays.
Yeah, that's what Sundays for.
I sleep through the morning football games because football starts at 10 a.m. here. So I usually sleep through the morning football game unless the Raiders are playing early.
Tomorrow you can't.
Yeah, unless the
Raiders and Bears are playing.
Yeah, the Raiders are playing, and they're playing early, very early. So I'll DVR the game.
Well, it's not.
And just avoid.
It's going to be regular time tomorrow.
Oh, is it in Chicago?
No, it's in London.
Oh wow!
But
the London,
it'll be our regular time.
Yes, it's 1 o'clock Eastern. Because I guess a buttload of people complained that you can't put an NFL game on 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Pacific. Didn't they used to do
so it'll be tape delayed then?
They used to do them earlier. No, I think it's going to be like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock p.m. over there this year.
Right.
They're doing it. So I was happy about that.
Yeah, I sleep through the early games if I can. I just find a game that I have little interest in. And the Raiders game will be one of those tomorrow.
You never know.
And then in the afternoon, I usually watch. If the Raiders are playing, I watch the Raiders. If not, I'll throw on the Cardinals game so that I have something to talk about the next morning on the show.
Hey, we have a guitar-related question.
Yay!
Ben Gosling is asking, if you guys could have only one amp, what would it be? Johnny?
Only one amp? It'd be my main amp, which is the
well, of course, if you only had one amp, it would be your main amp.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Fender Hot Rod, the DeVille, the 212, whatever that is. Yeah, because like Paul, you're talking about I think right the clean Fender sound. It's incredible, and I can use any pedal to put any dirt over it. That's me.
No, you got to start. You got to start with a good clean tone, and then you can color it any way you want. But when it's all said and done, if it doesn't clean up, then garbage in, garbage out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's nothing like a Fender clean turned all the way up. Nothing like that,
Can I be super lame?
You've never played on a clean sub ever?
No. No, I'm talking about my amp. Considering the fact that there's a 99.999 chance that I will never play live again, I would probably just pick the Yamaha at this point because that's all I use when I'm in my room.
Oh yeah, I've got mine right here.
Yeah, in the bag.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael Smith.
And
do you think that's the most versatile of any of your amps?
Say again?
Do you think it's the most versatile or the most variety?
No, it's just the easiest, and that's what I use to play guitar right now. Like I said, I'm not a touring musician anymore. I don't play gigs, I would say the most versatile amp that I have would be the JMP1. You know, that has great clean tones, and it obviously has a booty load of distortion. But
Badonkadonk.
but no, just for what I'm playing guitar through nowadays, man. Just the awesome Yamaha THR 10X practice amp.
Well, that's basically all I have is a practice amp. I have a 1x12 Marshall, and that's at this point that's the only amp that I have. And I have my pedal board with a direct that I go into the mixer with. So if I'm using headphones, I can play with that or go into the computer. But I mean, I've had several. I mean, it's been years since I've had a 4x12 or anything substantial, but you know, I'm happy with just, you know, a small practice amp that I can take out. You know, it's a 40-watt amp that I can take out to, you know, play with a drummer if I need to, or again, those Marshall watts, you know, it's loud enough. So
Right.
that's my
I have
answer.
a bunch of gear that I don't play. That I don't play out. You know, I was a singer in a band. I wasn't even a guitar player. I just have a ton of gear. And sort of to Jay's point, I'm not going to play out anywhere as a guitar player. So I have the most versatile amp I have. I have one of those Fender Mustang 5, you know, 150 watt 4x12, you know, modeling amp things that gets me any sound that I want to get for in my house.
Right.
But as far as going out and playing live, JCM 800 all day, all night. That's to me the quintessential for me, because I came up in the 80s.
Mhm.
So that's the sound. That's the sound. That's what that lead 12 over there gets, is it gets a solid state version of that JCM 800 sound. And underneath it, that's sitting on top of a JCM 900 2x12, which is a more high gain version of the same amp. And then in front of that, I have the 5150 2x12. And that's just the combo amps. All the 412s and shit are in the other room. I have way too much gear because I got great deals on it. And I have friends who play guitar. So if they want to come over and play and we want to annoy the neighbors, everybody gets their own half stack. So, but that Mustang 5 has all these presets, and it's also, you can wire it into a computer and download patches for it to get whatever tones you're looking for if you can't find it, and dial it in yourself. And for at home playing, and you can throw a headphone on it, you can run it direct. You know, I mean, and I think I paid $130 for the entire half stack.
Good night, Amanda.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why, you know, when you see that in it was in a record store here in Phoenix called Zia Records. And I walked over to it, and it's, you know, 150 watt head with the 4x12 cabinet and all the pedals and everything with it. It still has the hang tags on it. And it's in a, you know, somebody, I assume it was a little warm and they just dumped it off on this store. But I walked in there on a Sunday morning and I looked at the tag and I said,
That's crazy.
$130. I was $130. Seriously? And the guy goes, yeah. I go, fuck.
That's
Peeled
fine.
off $130 immediately and rolled it into my truck and left. Yeah. It was, I mean, where else do you get you get a 150 watt half stack for $130? And it's a Fender, and it's a good modeling amp.
Yeah.
And you know, and I have no problem taking that to a club or bringing it into the radio station. Like if we have a guest come into the radio station and they want to play, you know, amplified, I roll that thing into my truck, bring it to work, plug it in. We dial up a tone that approximates what they're looking for. It's a cool little toy.
When Sammy was playing out of key.
Yeah.
Oh, you're insane. What the hell was that? That's so funny. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Never mind.
No.
Okay.
Those Barks root beers and Cokes.
The
liquor are kicking in now.
He was on that radio. He was on some the radio show during his book tour or whatever, and the host was he was playing guitar with the host, and the host was playing, you know, just some basic, you know, chord progression, and Sammy started playing a lead over it, and Sammy, he was playing, all of a sudden he's like, what the hell's going on? And Sammy sounded terrible. He's like, oh, you're playing an A. Oh, that's why. I was playing, you know, something.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that happens all the time when you get people who are tuned to standard, and then you're a half step down and you're like, why the fuck are we out of tune?
Yep.
And you realize that most of those great songs that we loved back in the day were a half step down. That's why that singer was so good.
Wow. Well, hey, real quick. Well, Paul, I know you still have some. You were going to show some guitars, right?
Sure.
Oh, yes.
I think.
That's right.
Let me show this real quick.
Yeah, dude. Let Johnny do your thing.
Let me show you guys this thing. I finally kind of figured this thing out.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Look at that thing.
Yeah. I think
that's
this.
Too many straps.
How does it feel, though? Because that's a heavy guitar, correct?
No, it's not.
Well,
So
if it was a heavy guitar, would it be like, oh, okay.
if it was heavy, it would be pulling both sides
Evenly, though.
evenly.
So is
Yeah.
that just wrapped around your neck?
It's this is the regular strap, right?
There's a full regular strap, and then there's a strap
full
that comes
regular
over.
strap, and then there's a strap that comes over, and it goes around the guitar. This is the part I couldn't figure out, but apparently you just put it, around.
So you're
it.
like Magnus Vermagnuson there in the friggin' strongman competition, carrying
Do
the
the
heavy guitar.
toss over the shoulder, Johnny.
Yeah, you can't do that. It's a safety strap. You
You'd rip your neck
can't
off.
Cinderella.
Yeah, I mean it's the problem with this is the strap is probably heavier than this guitar is. So I'm being weighted down actually
By the strap.
by the strap. It's kind of weird, and there's still a part on the strap that there's like a baggie behind me.
What?
Where is it?
A bag?
Yeah, there's a part.
Turn around.
This is so weird.
Every now and then,
Right there. Okay, there's a baggie, and that has like some metal clip in it. I don't know what to do with that.
Huh.
So I need to that needs to attach. See, it's like I took this off, and I'm afraid I'm gonna drop the guitar.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I'm not.
yeah.
There's another strap on there. So
Does it,
Johnny,
so,
you said,
all right.
said strap on.
I know.
So, hold on, Johnny, hold on.
I said there's another strap on.
Before you connect that, hold on. Stand there. Okay, connect it. Never mind.
Okay.
What feels more comfortable? I don't want to say normal because we all know what standing up with a guitar on feels like, but what feels better to you? With both straps on? Both strap-ons? Or
Is two better than one?
yes.
Is that-
When
Depends on
she
where you put
says
them.
yes, leave. Never mind.
Okay. Okay. Well, here's the regular.
Yep.
There's me with the tail, like Eddie at the US Festival, with the extra strap. Remember
Mhm.
that? There's the regular strap. It's fine.
Yep.
It's
Well,
fine.
the guitar doesn't weigh 13 pounds. So.
No, it doesn't weigh anything. And the reason I use this is because the guy whose strap this is, Matt, is it
Matt
Heafy?
Heafy, yep.
Oh, from Trivium.
His signature guitar is an Epiphone. But I went to the website and I read up on it, and they said supposedly his Epiphone is like super heavy.
Mhm.
And that's probably one of the reasons why he uses this. It's made for super heavy guitars, I guess. So there's that.
Does
and
it feel like it's taking some of the stress off your shoulder?
Or off your back or whatever.
Does it feel any different?
it feels different because it's an extra. It's the
Right.
extra thing on there that feels different. It almost feels like I can't move, like I can't. Well,
It looks
Yeah.
like it would. Your picking hand might. I don't know. Might get uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't put that on a guitar with 3 pickups, or like Jay's Universe. You can't use that.
Yeah, it's like the guitar doesn't really move.
It only
Like,
works
it
on
stays
Les
in one
Paul or
s-
2 pickup guitars.
stays in one spot, really.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention
Yeah.
next is it seems like if you wanted to kind of move the guitar around, it's almost positioned where it's only going to work in one spot
Yeah.
because it'll be off balance if you're, look at you. Yeah, get it. Rock on, Chicago.
No, but it
Yeah.
does it does limit you though, because any guitar that has 3 pickups or more than that configuration, a middle pickup, is kind of fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really do anything with that. And by the way, leaving that over the pick guard too is probably going to snap a pick guard. You probably have to in the future run that underneath your pick guard.
Probably.
It could. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not much room under it though. Yeah, I just threw it on because
Threw it
yeah, I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. I couldn't figure out how you attach this, and then I had to you had to take it off, and then you know, I'll make a video because I don't think there's any videos of anybody demonstrating how this thing works.
Yeah,
I
do a
couldn't
tutorial.
I couldn't find it, and it's still not right. But as soon as we if we can figure out how this actually works, I'll make a video of how this thing works. But thank you again. It was Boner Jams, right?
I'm glad that you covered the whatever that logo thing was.
You know what that was? I had to cover it. It's like some it's like some evil looking skull looking thing.
So why'd you have to cover it?
I kept because it's ugly.
Yeah,
Because Johnny is not evil. He's pure.
No, I'm not. I mean, I got
his powers for good.
I got Darth Vader on me. That's as evil as I go. This guy.
No, Darth Vader made a face turn later on.
He redeemed himself.
Yeah, I had to cover this part though. Sorry, Matt Heafy, but I had to cover it because it just doesn't look right.
When you unboxed it,
you saw it. You saw it.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, well, I don't know if Johnny. I mean, I'd probably cover it up as well. It's
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this. See, look at this. I don't know where I am. This is like tape. This came stock.
Is that tape?
It's all wrapped up.
Or
Yeah,
is it just like leather wraps or something.
no, it's like it's tape. That's how it comes. Oh, you can still see through there, so I can actually show you what was in there.
Not really.
No, we can't see that.
Almost right there. Right there, you can see slight.
You should do the rest of the show that far away from your microphone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can slightly see. I can see it. Yeah, it's some sort of devil thing, and that's not. Yeah,
That's not what we're
It's
all
not your
about.
thing.
no. I mean, the strap is cool though.
But you would prefer it without the extra strap.
Without this,
Yeah.
well, I can't. I mean, this is more normal.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa,
You move it
You know-
around, be a little more big.
doing this
I
stuff.
think it serves a really specific purpose.
You can't do that stuff with the where is it?
Yeah, you can't get your choreographed kiss move on.
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
With
actually,
that
you
strap.
can. Actually, you can, but it's like choking you. It's like, oh.
Too many
You pass
steps.
out. You pass out because you pinched off your carotid artery during the show.
It's like you're like, oh. yeah. Anyway, thank you, Boner Jams. This is it is very cool.
Ron Padgett says nice gift, but basically jump. I don't know if I'd say junk. I mean, I think if you're somebody that does have either shoulder issues or back issues, and you do have a heavy guitar, maybe that's something because I think that's why he made that type of straps for that reason, because I guess he either does have a shoulder issue or a back issue.
If this thing was 1,000 pounds, I could totally see how
1,000 pounds.
how this works.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I chose to put it on this guitar because this is like what the guy uses,
Yeah.
which apparently his guitar
I
is
think you
1,000 pounds.
I think anytime you use that strap moving forward, Johnny, you should have to utter the phrase "break out the gimp."
Bring out the gimp.
Bring out the gimp.
I mean, personally, unless I really did have an issue, and my back does suck, but as far as my guitars aren't very heavy, but I wouldn't use something like that unless I needed to.
I mean, I guess if you're a touring band and you're playing every night for 2 hours on stage, I mean that it serves a purpose, and if we're all getting old, so maybe we all might need that someday.
Yeah, it's a Michael Hutchins strap.
But
a
we
David
also,
Carradine strap.
God, yeah.
Too soon?
Robin Williams.
Oh,
I don't know.
I'd rather sit in a chair and play than.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, most of us probably play in a chair nowadays.
That's true.
it is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, it's a cool. That's what I'm saying. It's a cool idea. and it's
Again, it's limited though, because Jay, as you could use it on your Ibanez over there, but you can't use it on your Universe. You can't use it on a Strat. You can't use it on anything with a single coil or a humbucker in the middle, like a Les Paul. Like that's obviously for a Les Paul guitar because the Les Paul guitars are famously heavy. But if you got a 3 pickup custom, it's useless. I think that strap goes right across the pickup. That center pickup.
Yeah.
Right. I want to see some new guitars, Paul, but I'm going to use the head real fast.
Oh, me too.
All right. Well, then I'll sit here. I was going to go grab a Pepsi, but I'm not going to leave John by himself.
Thank you.
Well, John has a sandwich to keep him company.
That's right.
Yeah. And everybody will be like, what the hell just happened? So John,
to keep me company.
Yeah, just sing me and my sandwich.
Think about what was you guys remember the Simpsons episode where Homer has the sandwich for like a week, and he found it behind the radiator later on. And it's all like green, and
I was thinking of
stinky.
I was thinking of the Peter Griffin part where he goes, "You like meatball sandwiches too?" What is that, the glory hole?
Oh yeah.
You like meatball sandwiches? Or my baloney has a first name. So yeah, I don't know if did Jay see the pink? Because I know he likes pink guitars. Did he see the pink Ernie ball?
I don't know.
We might pull that one out too.
Yeah,
because he'll like that. Plus, he likes full floating trims, and that does have one on it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
we're watching All in the Family all of a sudden.
Couple things I just not since we're waiting for Jay. A couple things I saw on a couple Van Halen Easter eggs that I saw. Johnny, can you?
I'm trying to leave too, but
this was from American Dad.
Oh, there you go.
7 OU81215. So there was that. And then there's another one. I saw this was in the movie Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't know if it was intended to be a Van Halen Easter egg, but it's 8:05. It's time to rock.
There you go.
So,
wow.
Ben, I have 2 Charvel Art Series EVHs around. That's the only Charvels I own. All right, I'm going to get a Pepsi. I'm going to get a Pepsi. I'll be right back. Jay, did you see the pink Ernie ball that I got?
I saw the pictures you posted on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to.
All right, I'll whip that one out too.
Yeah, I want to see that one.
Excuse me.
Right, hang on one second. I'll be right back. I gotta go get a Pepsi.
Hi, John.
Hey, Jay.
Just me and you now, bud.
Did you see my picture I just showed? North Carolina.
Yes,
are you north or south?
South.
Oh, okay.
North Carolinians, they can't drive. It's crazy.
Can't be worse than massholes.
Well, we're right on the border of North and South Carolina, and I'm telling you, when anybody does something stupid in traffic, they always have a North Carolina license plate, and it's like clockwork, man. It's crazy.
Well, Massachusetts was rated as the worst drivers in the country, so
really?
we got that going. Yeah, and a recent poll that
Wow.
So
what was that? Anybody else hear that?
Yeah, I heard.
What was that?
I don't know. It's not here. So what's going on in the chat? How's everyone doing?
Well, John, you heard the news, right? About my ongoing fiasco with that guitar company?
Yeah, I saw your show last night, and
yeah.
So
they made good.
That's
made
good to hear. You haven't received it yet,
but they were very very reluctant. But then I guess after I posted,
I was going to say, do you think it's a result of you guys us talking about it and stuff, or you think that had an impact?
And I told them I was going to send them a link to the show, and I was going to discuss my entire experience. And then I emailed him the link to the show and said, I will send you the link to join the show as well, because I'm always
let's hear their part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I'm gonna, let somebody defend themselves if
Right.
I'm gonna, go after them. So his response was, listen, we will replace your pickups for you.
So how do you think they literally tried to rip it out of your guitar and that's how they broke them? Or I
don't know, but
how does that happen? It's not easy to break a pickup.
No, because I asked my old rep from Ibanez, who now works for under Fender, and I was like, dude, how is it at all possible that when your techs are taking pickups or putting pickups in guitars, do they get broken ever? He's like, no, you unscrew them and you pull them out. It's not difficult.
What kind of packaging did it come in?
The
That's
box,
never happened. That's never happened to me.
exactly. The
Installing pickups. Never.
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
unless you drop
I'm a
them
monkey, and I've never broken a pickup.
Thank you. So
they're fucking indestructible, with the exception of the wiring. Obviously,
Mhm.
you cut a tail too short or something like that. That's the only real damage you can do to a pickup, unless you beat the shit out of it.
yeah.
I mean, you could drop them. I mean, they're made to be beaten up.
Mm-hmm. So no, the box that they were shipped in was in perfect condition. It looked like it was just taken off the shelf at the postal at the post
Mhm.
office, and everything that was packed in the package.
So it wasn't like a manila envelope or anything. It
No,
was like
no,
it was a full-on box. Yeah, as it should be.
When I saw it, I was like, oh shit, they packed it up nice and tight. Like everything was snug as a bug in that box. Bubble wrap, they had some extra stuff, just like everything was super duper tight. And there's no way it happened during shipping.
They were just like, well, here's his pickups. We'll give him his pickups.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to get into like what I think happened, because at this point,
Were they
right.
both broken? Was it one
Yeah,
broken?
they're both cracked.
How the hell does that happen? It
Yep.
sounds
I was discussing with bare knuckle pickups themselves. Tim from Bare Knuckle. I sent him the pictures, and he's like, yeah, that doesn't look good, man. He didn't, obviously he's not going to get into any crazy stuff with another guitar company. I don't expect him to. I just wanted to show him and see if like there's anything that could have been, we could do with these pickups. And he said he was willing to help me out in any way that he could. But the fact that they are going to order me new pickups,
you predicted that too. You predicted when they sent your shit back that it was going to be broken.
Yeah.
You were half joking about it, but when it was all said and done,
I'm not right about much, Paul, but I guess I hit the nail on the head. Look, I hit the pickup with a hammer on that one.
Yeah.
Was there a little bit of bitterness going on? Are they just trying to make it a little bit more difficult for you? I don't know. When it's all said and done, you're going to get new pickups. You don't have to pay them for that friggin' guitar that obviously, and you'll never do business with that company again. And people that have lived this experience with you probably know that if that's how that company does business, there's a reason why Carvin guitars are now called another company name. Excuse me.
There's,
at some point,
with these videos and I mean, we could say there's at least, we could say hundreds, we could say maybe thousands, of people have seen or heard about Jay's story, and that's
it's in the guitar nerd world, and that's where we all are. Let's self-identify. It's a story.
Yep.
And it's a bad story. And quite frankly, companies like that need guitar nerds, because the average jerk on the street, and we're all that too, are going in and buying Squires and that and Epiphones
with double strap
guitars, with the gimp.
There it is.
Those are the best selling guitars because they're affordable and they're ubiquitous. But when you go out and you want, a quality handmade guitar or a custom guitar, a company that specializes in that's going to charge the kind of money that a custom guitar maker or boutique guitar maker is going to charge, can't afford that kind of bad publicity in the guitar community. They just can't. So in the end, Jay gets his shit back. And if you never utter that guitar company's name again, it'll be too soon.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think it got to the point where either maybe he put his ego aside and was like, listen, it's getting too crazy now. Like the snowball rolling downhill type of thing. Like, let's just cut our losses. And that's how I was too. It's like, hey, just give me my stuff back and it's over, So hopefully that's what happened. And he just said, all right, screw it. Let's just get this whole thing over with, So.
And you're absolutely right, Mad Dog. There's nothing. Epiphone quality right now is pretty good, pretty damn good for the money, the value for what you're paying. You're getting a good guitar these days. I wasn't doing that to slam the quality of it. I was doing it to say, hey, those are production line guitars. That's what most general musicians, bedroom guitar players are buying. They're not spending the kind of money that you spend on a boutique guitar.
Yep.
No, and
I'm
this
sure
guitar,
we've all owned Epiphones at one point.
oh, I've
I
got
still
one
own
right
an
there.
Yeah, I still own an Epiphone. I have several.
I played South by Southwest with that guitar. That's what I used.
But just one strap.
In Texas. Yeah, just with one strap at the time, But that's a perfect guitar. I mean, if I get called to play a gig somewhere tomorrow, I could grab that, take it. It's fine.
What pickups do you have in there, Johnny? Oh, why am I asking?
Well, no. It's got that's got the GIMP strap on there. That bridge pickup is from Guitar Fetish.
Okay. Perfect.
I know. they're P90s. They're just generic P90s. Right now they're out of phase because I think they might both be like bridge pickups or something. I gotta change the wiring, which I haven't done.
Well, that's a good thing about like a guitar like that. You can experiment with it, and you don't worry about switching the pickups out, switching the electronics out, doing what
experiment
you have to do
with the GIMP
in the strap too. Yeah, exactly.
All right, I gotta see some guitars here, Paul.
Yeah, let's see it, Paul.
This one was, and I've gone a little crazy just for people that's still in the chat that are actually paying. I love EBMM guitars, and this one was made. It's a trans black, which they didn't make many of. I think the generally accepted number is somewhere around 400.
Oh wow, man!
And that top is pretty kick ass. This actually, and the fun fact in this is, and you can hear it.
that top looks like my cat.
Yeah, a little bit.
It looks like Ned. Yeah.
Well, this guitar now will from this day forward be known as Ned.
That tremolo sounds like my bed.
Yeah.
Only when I'm in it though.
So the legend of the Ernie Ball, as we all know, the guitar, the bodies, and the necks were not matched from the beginning. They had stock, neck stock sitting in baskets and body stock, and this neck is a 1995 neck. This was made on the last day of production, which is September 27th, 1995, and the Ernie Ball serial numbers are not sequential. Ernie Ball didn't make them like Guitar 1 didn't come before Guitar 2 as far as the way the neck plates go on them. But by sequence, this serial number indicates that this is the final trans black ever produced by Ernie Ball Music Man. And even if serial number wise, it's not, they produced, I think, 2 or 3 trans blacks on September 27th of 1995, the final day of production. So this is one of the final trans blacks that was made in 1995. The body was made in 1993. He popped the neck off. The body date is 1993. The neck date is 1995. And that is because that's how they made them. When they came up with a trans black body, they would look in the basket for a neck. Oh shit, here's a trans black neck. And they would match them that way. Wow. So that's kind of how they Frankenstein them. So this was actually bought by somebody else here in Phoenix. And he had the guitar for, I think, 48 hours and realized he didn't bond with it, didn't like the neck profile. He's a fan of the Les Paul big baseball bat neck, and looked to unload it. And I happened to be in the right place at the right time for this one. And it's a pretty badass guitar.
It's got a great top on it.
and now it's going on
Yeah.
the floor.
It's going back in its case. I keep all my guitars. I keep all my guitars in their cases because I have the 2 German Shepherds, and any guitar on a guitar stand is, hey, what's that? so unless it's like my EVH Stripe series is on a stand, and I have like an Epiphone acoustic on a stand, but any guitar that has any value or is of any quality, they all live in the case unless I'm playing them. And with the Ernie Ball Music Man, it's a good idea because the UV protection on them, they all fade. That one's not really faded all that much.
No, that looks good, dude.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not bad. So while I was buying this one,
so that was the first one. That was the first one you bought out of the.
No, the first one I bought is the pink one, which you haven't seen, but I'll whip that out for you too. Because
Whip out the pink one.
Whip out the pink guitar. So while I was buying this one, I was at work. And I don't know why I was searching something about Ernie Ball Music Man guitars, and another one showed up. So let me open the case on that one. My credit cards are all fucking maxed right now.
Right now, Nesdal's drooling in his sleep.
Oh, is he an Ernie Ball guy?
No.
He likes the Peavies. It sounds like his favorite.
Yeah, I think
era of Ed's guitars was the Peavy era.
So you guys, I remember one of my first videos watching you guys was the one where Johnny and Nesdal and Rob Johnson are all comparing their amber.
Hey, wait a minute.
I'm glad. Amber what?
Guitars. Oh,
their amber Ernie Balls.
I'm glad you said Ernie.
Right.
Yes, I syntax matters. So I'm at work, and you should see the bird's eye on the back of his neck. I'll show it to you. So I'm at work, and I we're playing a Supertramp song or something shitty, and I just Google, like, I'm looking through the internet and stuff.
Don't knock Supertramp, man.
It's a joke. It's a running joke on our show. There's actually some guys from Boston. They just call us. They go, good morning, everybody. Just want to let you know Supertramp sucks. For whatever reason, that's just become sort of a running joke on the show. So I Google Ernie Ball Music Man, and they're on a lot of them for sale. And when they go up, they go away very quickly. And this one came up, and now I have an amber.
Oh wow!
Oh my gosh!
And that is as clean as it gets. Look at that headstock. That thing is beautiful. And then the bird's eye on this neck is fucking ridiculous. Wow. That is pretty. That's pretty sweet. That bird's eye matches. It matches the top, dude. It is as clean as it can get. It's got one ding on it. Where can I? One ding, and you probably can't even see it, but it's right by the jack. It's
maybe it's a reflection.
Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, maybe you can get it. There it is.
Oh yeah. Yep.
See it?
Yeah.
There's your ding. It's actually 2. There's a second one there.
There's 2 dings.
Yeah. So those are the only marks on this guitar. And again, another one with 0 fade.
Mm-hmm.
What year is that one?
93. So I there was no way I was going to let this one go. So another credit card gets maxed out.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
The reason I was laughing is because every time John puts his beer down, it sounds like a fart is being ripped. No, the way you put it down before, do it naturally. It sounded fartier before.
Wait,
glass on glass.
Yes, that one did. Cracking one off real fast.
And this one is for Jay, because I know Jay likes very, very bright, garishly colored guitars. So how gross is that?
Oh man!
Oh my gosh!
How gross is that? It's brighter than it looks on this camera. That is your trans pink.
Man.
I like that.
And this is an old one. You can tell because look at the signature. The signature is actually the silver, and the trans pink ones had black ones. This, according to the dating on it, was built on July 8th of 1991, which would make it the third trans pink ever produced. Eddie got the first one, and then there was another one, and then this one.
Wow.
So this is a very, very early run before they changed the signature to black. And somebody had this thing, and this is where Jay will probably appreciate it, had it routed for full floating.
Oh man.
So
let me know if you want to sell that so I can max out my credit card too.
Yeah, this one was this one was pretty expensive. Not gonna lie to you. You don't find the pink ones. And again, no fade.
They never did that at the factory with that route, did they?
No, not to my knowledge.
No,
not to my knowledge. Jerry Cantrell has a couple that have been routed, but I don't think they were done by Ernie Ball.
Looks like they did a pretty good job on it.
And there's another bird's eye neck that's just ridiculous. And you can see it's a little worn on the top there. Not really, but just the bird's eye is pretty phenomenal on it. So,
how do the necks feel like comparing them to each other? Do they kind of feel like the same?
Yeah, they all feel the same. But these are. I mean, I Ernie Ball guitars play phenomenally anyway. And the weird part about it is I had sold my blue one. I had a blue one that was sort of faded a little bit toward, the aquamarine color. I sold it because I had bought a Les Paul 61 reissue, which is the one that looks like an SG. It's a Les Paul custom reissue. And I was like, well, I got to recoup some money, so I'll just offload one of my EVHs. Mm-hmm. And now that I've sold it and these other ones came along, I feel like shit, I got to complete the rainbow. And now there's a natural that's up on Reverb right now, but I'm not paying $3,500 for it. But that's what that's what they're going for now. That the faded ones are still going for $2,000. So anything that's going to be in this kind of condition, in a collector's condition, in these colors, you're going to pay a lot of money for. Unfortunately, that's just the way the market bears. These are going to become like the bursts, the Les Paul bursts. They're going to be really collectible later on down the line. And if you can get one that hasn't been faded, you still got to play them. I mean, that's a given. But take care of them. Don't leave them.
Yeah, don't leave it in the front window.
Yeah, you can't. You can't take it out. Like I wouldn't play an outdoor gig with this. I wouldn't play any gig with this. This wouldn't go to a club. That's what I have an access for. I'd take the access to a club if I was actually going to play out somewhere. But these are as nice as it gets, and I love the Ernie Ball guitars.
Wow.
So
yeah, wait a couple weeks before you buy another one.
Well, it's ridiculous. I shouldn't have done it, but there's a lot of things.
But
I've made a lot of horrible mistakes in my life.
For Neanderthal, a couple weeks is 1 week.
Yes, because I
like him and Dave.
Dave's
the same way. It's true. Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, these are not the routing out of it was done aftermarket. This was shipped to a Strings and Things, not the one in Memphis, but there's a Strings and Things in the UK and England that is the British distributor for Ernie Ball Music Man. And I reached out to those guys and they won't tell me the customer record of it. But they can, and Ernie Ball says that they didn't do this at the factory. So it was done aftermarket, but it is cut clean and perfect. So I don't have any questions about it. And the trem is stable. So there's enough springs.
Can you do a full up bend on it?
Oh yeah. It'll bend up.
Let's see if I can't break this. These strings are old, so I don't know. I know I broke one on the show months ago.
I'm not going to do the Steve Vai, the Steve Vai Jack Butler move, but
this one will go all the way.
Yeah, I'm not. You really can't. I mean, it does. The fine tuners dip down into that pocket. That pocket's not all that deep, but it's deep enough that you can lay into this bar and have it go deep.
As long as they're set up properly, you should be able to go all the way up and all the way back.
Yeah. And of course, the Godo trem system is as stable as it gets. This one nowhere near like Jay's bed. not this one. This one has been plenty lubed. Unlike
No,
Jay.
wait, that Floyd is a Godo Floyd.
Yeah, they're all on the Ernie balls. They're all Godos.
Okay.
On the Eddie Van Halens, they're all Godos. On the Axis, they switched over to I think just a Floyd licensed one.
Mm-hmm.
But all the Ernie Ball Music Man Van Halens are Godo Floyds.
Did Ed play them with Godos, or he switched them out? Didn't he?
He changed a couple of his, but I think Godo was his choice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I remember there was a magazine cover of him. It might have been the one of him holding the guitar up and pointing at it, like the first time you saw him with the amber one. And if you look real close, I think it says Floyd Rose. Was it that one?
On these ones that it's just has a Music Man stamp.
It says Music
doesn't
Man,
say
yeah.
licensed. Yeah, it doesn't say licensed by anything. It's just a stamp on it.
It says licensed if you look near the fine tuners.
Yeah, near the fine tuners right there.
Yeah.
Along the bottom here. But on this, where the normal Floyd Rose stamp would be, it just says Music Man.
Yeah.
And they sound great acoustically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're great guitars.
Was that Supertramp?
It was not. No, I don't know any Supertramp because I'm heterosexual.
There's a commercial that they're on now. They've probably made millions off of it. What's that? It's like a Progressive or something like that. Yeah, there it is. Was that it? Was that Supertramp?
No, that's REO.
That's
REO.
Speedwagon.
But there is one. I don't know which song it is. You
could be forgiven for making that connection though, because Kevin Cronin also sings like a girl. He does. No, he's got an incredibly effeminate voice. It's a great voice, but it's effeminate.
Fruitcake,
he knows it.
Jay, show us that striped Music Man of yours. I don't have a striped Music Man. I just have the EVH.
You have a striped EVH, yeah.
Yeah, Wolfgang Music Man. But if you want to see it,
Wolfgang Music Man.
Paul just did with those 3 gems, but
you want me to break out the gem? I can break out the gem if you want.
You got a gem?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I want to see it.
All right, break your guitar out. You take your guitar and I'll go grab it.
James 1967, thank you. James says, I love you guys. This is a great show. Nice seeing it live. Thanks, James.
Thank you, James. Wow. Yeah, thank you, everybody who's watching this. And yeah, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you dig this stuff.
These strings are shot on this one. Yeah, it's just the...
You need to boil them.
There are some upgrades on it. It's got a German Floyd on it with there's 5 out of 6 of the
That's chrome-tastic.
Yeah. And it's got the big old brass block in the back.
It's got the badonkadonk.
Badonkadonk block.
The badonkadonk block.
And Nesdall put these bad boys in for me.
So here's the thing: are you all right with putting those eyelets in the eyelets in your guitars? Yeah, because I feel I had when Craig did my 5150, he put the eyelets in, and I was cool with it with that. But like, I don't know that I want to put eyelets on my Ernie balls. Because obviously it's much bigger thread.
Yeah, and you can't go back once you do it.
I would say with your guitars, I would not do it. I would leave yours the way they are. I did
my purple. I might do it too because my purple's a player grade.
Okay, yeah, I did it to mine years ago, and my guitar is trashed. Compared to your amber, mine looks,
right
because I toured with it. Since 1992. I've been playing that guitar. But no, I would leave yours alone. I wouldn't put those on yours.
Yeah, those ones they're just too clean. But I see people put the eyelets on them. Do you feel like it's more stable with an eyelet, or just for your cosmetics?
You get an Halen guitar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Johnny, did you put yours on before EVH was actually selling them, and branded them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, years ago. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I put mine on like 10 years ago or something.
Now, Jay, is that a Japanese neck?
No, this is a Mexican.
Oh, okay.
Mexican. The one in the case right there, that's full Japanese. The neck on under the EVH sign,
Yeah,
Chinese maple neck that I frigged up because I put it on here, but I messed it up. So
Is that the one with the steel frets?
yes,
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, here you go, Jay. Here's your gem.
Oh yeah, man.
And like all gems, the headstock is a little bit that it's not faded so much as the green doesn't really match the neck green.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not faded. The pickups and the knobs are much more vivid than they show up on the camera. And because you'll love this,
it's got the low pro, which is my favorite tremolo
and it's got
of all time.
And it's got the hot pink case.
Yep.
The Ibanez case with the hot pink logo and stuff. Yeah, it's the low pro trem,
yep.
And the Ibanez PAF Pros are the humbuckers, and then it's just a gem single coil in the middle,
which they do not sell. DiMarzio does not sell those.
No, it's proprietary to this guitar.
Yep.
You can't use a double strap with that guitar.
No, you cannot.
Well, wait, maybe you can. You just hook it to the handle, right? To the monkey.
Yeah, you could probably hook it. Yeah, but then if you do that, you can't punch somebody in the face.
So what year is that? Is that a 91?
89. Yeah, this is the first year. This is the first year of the rosewood neck. This is the very first rosewood necked gem. They had this model is the very first rosewood neck gem.
So
they put them out in 89.
Was that a replacement bridge then? Because I thought the low pro came out in 91.
Well, then this isn't a low pro.
No, that's a low pro. Wait, no, it's not. I'm sorry. That's the original Edge. My bad.
Yep.
I looked at it wrong like an idiot.
But this is
Yep, 89.
you can see it's a little bit worn on the where the logo is because it's been played.
Does it have the typical RG / early Ibanez crack in the lacquer or the paint?
No. That neck, believe it or not, there is no neck crack anywhere on this guitar. That's why I bought it. There's no neck crack on this thing. It is clean. The neck is good.
Is that where they notoriously it cracks from?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dude. Where the neck meets the body on almost every Ibanez, there's a crack.
I do not have it on this one either. This is a 91 that's been through the ringer, and this doesn't have a crack either, which is nuts because, like you said, I would say
what kind of wood do
it's basswood. It's
basswood
on both the Universe and the Gem.
Yep. But they are notorious for cracking there, and it's just in the finish. It's not in the wood.
Yeah, it's everyone. But Jesus, you love this. Of course, Jay loves these. Look at that.
Oh,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's so thin.
Yep.
It's thin and flat.
Yep.
Like Joni Laurer before she became China.
Before she became Sylvester Stallone.
Yes. But my God, what a neck profile on these things. I'm nowhere near a good enough guitar player to deserve a guitar. This is like somebody that doesn't know how to drive a Ferrari, doesn't know how to drive a Standard being handed the keys to a Ferrari. But and the scallop, my fingers are not big, but they're not small either. I can't imagine digging into that scallop up here on the top of the neck.
Let's see that. So they scallop the higher frets. Is that what it is?
Last four frets.
Yeah. Oh.
The last four frets, 21 through 24 are scalloped. I don't know if you can barely see it.
Yeah,
we can see that.
They're dug out a little bit.
Yep.
21 through 24.
On the Universe guitars as well, but they did not.
But I mean, I can't. There's no way you can dig unless you got needle fingertips and incredible strength. You're not going to get any like vibrato out of that. I don't know why, because the fret spacing there is so small. There's no way that you're going to get that. You can't bend that note by digging into that fret. There's no way you can dig into that and get that thing to warble.
Good night, Ben. He said, cool show, guys. Catch you later. It's 8 a.m. here. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
You're in the UK then, Ben, huh? These strings are old as hell, and this guitar just sings, man.
Yeah, they do. They're
It's an Ibanez. It's not supposed to be out of tune.
Yeah, well, it's my fingers. I haven't touched this guitar in a long time, so
if you ever think about getting rid of that, let me know.
Yeah, I certainly would. This is Nesdal tried to get it out of me too.
So yeah, he
got a bidding war going.
He told me, he's like, yeah, I'm trying to get one from a buddy of mine, but
and he did get one.
Yeah, he did get one, but I think I didn't know that you were the one he was trying to get the one from, I guess, before he got the one he got.
Man,
now the trem is a little bit, you can see that
was it like phone calls like every day?
No, we didn't have phone numbers at the time. We had it was just
telegraph.
It was
pigeons.
Carrier pigeons.
Well, the Cosmo Black has been known to get that, from a lot of wear, but mine has been I don't want to say took care of it, but I don't have very acidic hands and fingers, and I used to towel it off every night,
Yeah, I'm greasy.
And have that much of an issue, but I did have Ibanez send me replacement, like some of the screws and stuff like that, because a lot of that stuff got rusted out.
What's on the bar? It looks like there's an engraving on the bar.
That's this because it's a third party tremolo bar. I had that swapped out, but as far as the trem, and this thing has been, I love the low pros, man. They are just phenomenal. I
was thinking about just pulling the pick guard and replacing the pick guard with something cleaner, but then it's a wall hanger, and I don't want to do that. This guitar should be played.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I've got some wall hangers. I don't need. This is the only super shredder guitar I own. Everything else is like a Strat, or I don't have any other. And I mean, I've got that 5150 that I had Craig do, but this is if you're going to shred, and I can't. But this is the one. So,
man, that's nice.
I love this guitar. And this is the one that you can, and Jay will attest to it, that you can put the bar in and just fucking beat on it.
Oh yeah,
and it just doesn't care. If the strings don't pop, it's going to come back in tune.
It wants more.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't. This guitar acts the way that strap looks on your left ball.
Yeah, hear that?
There you go.
Yeah, get the chirp.
Yeah,
just beat on it.
Just beat the hell out of these things, and they're great.
Yeah.
There was a question from, let's see, who is that? Something about talent off. Oh, Zach Thong says, Jay, do you wipe your strings off when you're done playing guitar? No, I don't anymore. When we played live, I would try to, because sweating, for the whole set, I try to at least lightly wipe stuff off before I close it up, and then don't open it for 20 hours or something. But no, nowadays I just wash my hands before I play, and I wash my hands after. I don't sweat while I'm sitting up here playing guitar, so that's not an issue. It's just I try to play guitar with clean fingers.
Wow. Yeah, because
I gum mine up big time. I have oily skin, so I gum up my strings quick. So I rub them down afterwards with some Goo Gone or whatever.
Or Goo On.
I've never wiped down my strings. Especially after a show or on tour or whatever. I'll just, because you got to get off stage as fast as you can, right? I'll just throw my guitar in the case, throw everything, whatever. And then on tour, I would change my strings every night. So I'd get to the next place, change the strings, play. or maybe I would do like 2 shows. I would have 2. I'd have 3 guitars, and then I think I would change the strings every 2 shows. Is what I would do.
That's what we did.
That's
two
what I would
shows.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys gotta see, like, after my next gig, whenever that is, you gotta. I'll do a video of the guitar the next morning. Open up the case, and you'll just see nothing but gunk all over, just
Ugh.
nastiness.
Oh, it's. Dude, I have some friends that play in some good bands, some signed bands, and immediately when they swap out their guitar, first thing the roadie does is wipe everything down before he puts it back in the rack. For whatever reason. Yeah, he just gets the one wipe over.
If you're lucky enough to have a guitar tech, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying
Puts
for.
it right back in the rack, and then if they need it again for the second song, you pull it out. They give it enough. They wipe it twice. They wipe it when they put it away, and they wipe it when they take it out to give it to the player.
Dude, John BL, man, what time is it? I got 1 minute where I can keep talking. Speaking about roadies, did you see those pictures?
Which picture?
Did you see the pictures of Rudy Laren with the shark?
Yes.
There's pictures of Rudy tuning the shark at a Van Halen show in '78.
Really?
Before the show, yeah.
Did you put them in the Discord?
Oh man. What did I put in the Discord?
That was those other things.
Those questionnaires with
really cool.
Did you saw those?
Yeah.
Did you notice Edward says his nickname is Eddie?
Well, now I see. Yeah, I didn't.
With every band member, it says nickname, and he put.
I noticed that Ed and Al pretty much had the same answers to everything. It's like one of them did the answers, and
yeah, you can kind of. If you guys want to see what John's looking at, jump into the Discord.
140 pounds. I don't even think he's that. 5'8". It says Eddie's 5'8".
Those are from a Japanese magazine from '78.
Yeah, it's like that.
They asked the band members like questions, and they answered them.
Philosophy of life: experience everything. If possible, try everything. You only live once. When did you experience your first love? Many years ago, Ed says. Have you ever seen a UFO? Only in the movies. These are crazy questions. Favorite girls type: cute, quiet, and smart. That's Valerie. I don't know if she's quiet, but she's cute and smart. Well, I don't know if she's smart. She's cute and quiet.
We're just whittling it down, huh?
Have you ever seen a UFO? No, but I hear voices inside the walls, according to Noel Monk. I hear voices in the building. The aliens are coming through the walls to get me. Give me my gun.
I'll show you guys some of these real quick.
Favorite eye and hair color. He says, I don't know what this means. H2L-brown.
Hazel.
Hazel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Hazel.
Eddie has hazel eyes.
HZL. That makes sense. Okay.
Here's another picture from one of those same magazines. This is pretty cool. Pretty cool picture right there. Look at that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's before everything went wrong.
Yeah.
Man, let me see.
Al says he's 6'1". I don't think that's true.
Oh God. No way.
No, because I'm 6'1",
Right.
and Al's a lot smaller than me.
John.
Eddie Van Halen is almost Angus size.
Angus is like 5'2". That's Rudy.
There's Rudy Laren with the shark tuning up.
That's a great picture. Yeah.
Yeah, I will put these in the Discord. I'm gonna have to save them.
Soda, I do not own any Nunos. Nuno guitars with me would look like a toy. They're tiny. Plus, I don't really like Washburn guitars that much.
Al's favorite girl type is girls without mustaches. or beard.
I'll show you guys what he's looking at.
Man does have to have his.
And this is true.
Standards.
I've heard the stories about this. When did you experience your first love? Al says when he was 8 years old. I heard he was 9, but that's when supposedly Al lost his virginity when he was 9.
Jesus.
Here we go. This is what he's looking at. Here's the Eddie one. These are what John's looking at. There's the Eddie one right there. And yeah, that's in the Discord. So go over to the Discord channel, the Van Halen photos section. You'll see these. Pretty cool.
Yeah, the questions are funny. And even Dave says he's 6 feet tall, which I don't think is true.
Nope. It's like
Let's see.
pro wrestlers and stuff like
How
that.
tall
They add height and weight.
Mike says 5'6", which is probably about right.
No, well, he's gotten smaller then because Mike to me is like this, and I'm 5'6".
Oh yeah,
I see Mike every.
him.
I see him every
A
year.
while
Yeah,
ago.
and he's shorter than I am. Yeah, here's the magazine. This is the magazine those are from. Looks like it's a Japanese magazine.
Who said I'm not 6'1" or 6 foot?
Yeah. I don't think I sent it to. Did I send it to Johnny? Did I send you my my cover of Big Bad Bill?
Huh?
I did a cover of Big Bad Bill with Sweet William Now the other night.
Yeah,
As a joke.
You said
I was
something
fucking
about
around.
us from. Were you the one who said something about a song from the 20s and?
Yeah. Only Van Halen
Only
can
Van
do a
Halen-
song from the 20s and make it
sound
their
cool.
own. And then I pulled out not a karaoke version, but a mixed minus version of it, and did a cover of it on my audition here at home for the
Cool.
fun of it. I think I sent it to Caleb, and Caleb was like, "Why would you screw with perfection?" And I was like, I was just screwing around, man. I just thought you'd get a kick out of it.
If you have a link,
He
to
was
it,
not amused.
if it's up online, if you have a link to it, put it in the Discord.
If you just go to Neanderthal.com, it's the first thing down there. So.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Every once in a while, I'll do, because I was a singer in a band. I was not a guitar player. That's why every singer does this, and you guys know this. If anybody that's ever been in a band, the minute you go to the bathroom or something like that, singer grabs your guitar and starts hacking on it and beats the shit out of it. But when I was in my band, or our band, because I hate saying my, when I was in our band, those guys, like one guy was a Berkeley grad and the other kid was self-taught, and they both, like, between the two of them, could play anything. So I would just go, play that 4 times. Now move up a whole step, play that 4 times. And I never learned. So since 1979, I've been hacking away at guitar. So occasionally I'll grab some music and throw it on a multi-tracker and throw some vocals down on it and put that up online just for the fun of it, just because I have nobody to play with. So I sit home and play with myself.
That's what I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
since 1989.
Every day.
No, I wish I could do it every day.
Multiple times a day.
What are we talking about again?
We're talking about that sandwich. I think it's almost time.
It is almost time. Definitely.
Dude, I'm hungry now just thinking about eating a sandwich like that. Except with the hot stuff on it. I can't.
Oh,
I like a
God.
little bit of hot sauce on certain things, like some Franks. But as far as like hot peppers, nah.
What do you
Banana
call them out there? If you're ordering a sub with hot peppers on it, do you just say hots, or do you? Because I know I've asked for hots in Connecticut, and they're like, "What the hell?" They gave me hot chocolate once.
On your sandwich?
No, not on my sandwich, but they're like, I said, "Can I have it with put hots on it?" And they're like, "Do you want hot chocolate?" No, I want hot peppers.
Hots.
Hots.
I love
Because
hots.
some people call them red hots. I don't know, but they're
Red Hots are
Or-
candy.
Oh, those are good.
Those are really good.
Those are good, man.
That's cinnamon.
Yes. Hot ass cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
lemon heads.
Mhm.
Cinnamon.
Same sort of.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon animals. That's one of those tongue twister things that they try to teach you in speech classes. Cinnamon animals.
Cinnamon animals.
Cinnamon
Cinnamon animals.
animals.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon animals. I bet
Cinnamon.
everybody is everybody in the chat room doing the same thing we're doing right
Cinnamon
now.
animals, yeah.
Cinnamon. Aminals. Cinnamon
Cinna-
aminals.
Try synonym animals.
Cinnamon.
Synonym animals. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Did you go to a speech class for radio? I know they have like out in Ohio they have those because it's like the most middle of the road kind of accent in America, and they have like speech classes for the people that go on the news and stuff like that.
Yeah, I had a really bad Boston accent when I was a kid. I grew up in Southie, so I had the real wicked hard accent. Yeah. So I was fucking just wicked retarded with my accent. And it took years to get rid of it. My mother used to give me a hard time because she was straight out of the projects in Southie too. So the first time I asked for a fork for dinner, my mother gave me shit about it because I was dating a girl from the suburbs, and I said, "Ma, can I have a fork?" And she goes, "A what?
A fork?"
Yeah, a fork. Because we eat with a fucking knife. And I'm like, a what? A fork and a knife? A fucking knife. Yeah, that's exactly what we do. So as soon as the first time I ever asked for a fork, my mother went, "Oh, a fork. Is that what we want now? A fork. Is it because you're dating that Jew girl in Newton?" I'm like, "Oh, Ma, thanks. Appreciate it. You're setting a great example for me."
Dude,
14 years old, and I'm already getting my Hitler training from my mother.
Dude, it sounded like you're from a Pohog or whatever the hell it is on Family Guy when you just said that. Retarded. I was like, perfect.
Sorry, retarded. Don't know any better.
Oh man.
Now, and I know what you're thinking, right? Because all right, I'll do it.
Oh, that's good, man. Need glasses and a pair of balls as a chin.
There you go.
Lois, if I do this, I get anal.
Oh man.
You're welcome.
Wait, is that Peter Griffin up on the top shelf? I see green pants up there.
Peter. It's all of them.
And Kenny. And Lemmy. And Chef.
Oh yeah, look at that chin.
Yeah, ball chin. Oh.
When you work at a radio station, you get a lot of cool like promo shit to give away, and a lot of it doesn't get given away. I have a life-size Stewie Griffin bobblehead bank. Like literally, it's 3 fucking feet tall with a head this big on a spring that bounces around. Yeah, I've got like the Lemmy bobblehead. I've got all kinds of stupid shit. I got a Quagmire bobblehead. Joe in a wheelchair with his bowling trophy. Fox used to send us all kinds of shit. So we give away some of the stuff, or it doesn't get picked up.
You kept it all, so they stopped sending you stuff.
No, it all ends up in my office. Like when I was a program director, they would send you one and go, here's what we're giving away, and we'll send you a crate of them. I'm like, all right, cool. So I would go to the promotions director and go, this is what we're giving away. Yeah, we got tons of swag. It was great. It's no different than, Johnny gets free guitar straps. Mm-hmm. I get Peter Griffin stuffed animals. Those actually came out. Family Guy got canceled. People may not remember this, but Family Guy got canceled, and it went away because the ratings sucked. This is like early 2000 or so.
Like 2003.
And those things came out, something like that, yeah. And it came back in 2004. And I remember the episode was like when they came back, he goes, "Well, do you think we'll get canceled again?" And they went down the list of all the shows. Greg the Bunny and like all these shows.
That 80s show.
That 70s show, that 80s show, they went down the list of all the
when
shows.
When all those are canceled.
Yeah, when all those are canceled, then maybe we'll get canceled. So those came out right before they got canceled the first time. And I gave them to our promotions director in Kansas City. She actually got the bobblehead bank, the Stewie Griffin bobblehead bank in her office, and we made an agreement that when she got fired, I got the bank when she had to clean out her office. So she didn't get fired, but they did change the setup of the offices, and she lost her office and had to move to a cubicle, so she couldn't put it in the cubicle. So I gave her those stuffed animals. Fast forward a couple of years, I get an email from her. She goes, "Hey, do you want these stuffed animals back? I'm an adult." So she mailed them back to me. There was a Stewie one too. There was a little Stewie one. She kept that one, but I was like, I don't care. I got the bank. I got the bobblehead bank. It's fucking massive.
Wow.
That's funny. Man.
So I have toys.
This
I'm
is
a 51-year-old
when you said
guy that carries toys.
when you said about did she say when I get fired, or you said when you get fired?
We agreed when we get fired.
I'm just picturing something radio. Like I'm picturing her in her office, like crying and cleaning out her desk, and you like knocking on the door, like,
"Hey, remember that agreement that we had?
Can I still have that?"
That's exactly how it went. That's exactly how it went when she had to move. When I found out they were reconfiguring the offices and they moved her out of her office. I walked down to her office. I shit you not. I just stood there. I'm like, so, yeah. I went, so, moving to a cubicle, huh? Not a lot of room in those cubicles.
Wait, do you know something I don't know?
And she knew she was moving to the cubicle, but she just turned and looked at me, and she's a Jehovah's Witness, so she can't go back on her word. So,
but she can knock on your door, though.
Yeah, she certainly will. My little brother used to be great about that. He'd knock on the door, and he'd just go, "I didn't see anything," and shut the door. Johnny, what I love is after midnight is all we can hear from Johnny is,
yeah. He's not allowed to talk.
It's his Barney Rubble laugh.
You know what I would love? What would be the best thing about the Late Show would be everybody has listened to Stern, and whenever Gary chimes in, it sounds like he's on like an intercom microphone. Yeah. It would be the best if all of a sudden you heard like Johnny's wife, "Johnny, will you shut the fuck up out there? Jesus Christ!" Like just punching in like through that intercom microphone into the show. That would be so good.
Yeah. You can hear it I can hear it through the wall sometimes. Banging on the wall.
Yeah. Some Dave, dude, it did get canceled and it came back on Fox. I think they were showing the Fox reruns. On
I think what spurred
Comedy
it was
Central or something like that.
it was they started doing it on Adult Swim, and I think the DVDs came out too, and the Fox people were like, well, damn, we can make some good money on this, let's bring it. It's one of the few shows that got canceled and came back.
Is that the Adult Swim? Is that the versions that has the language, the swearing?
Well, the DVDs are unedited.
Right. Oh, okay.
And another great example of watching the shows with the director's tracks. Every once in a while, Seth MacFarlane and Alex Borstein will be doing the director's tracks, and there's the one where Peter tried to cheat the welfare system, and she rats him out, and they're sitting in court, and he goes into Peter Griffin voice, goes, "Lois, if you don't shut your fucking mouth, I'm gonna whack you," and it's like. On the director's track, when they go into character voices, it's hilarious because you don't expect Peter Griffin to go "fuck you."
Yeah, because I've heard some of those. You watch some of those on YouTube, and you hear the F words and the F bombs on those.
I think whenever they bleeped it out on the actual show on TV, they really said it on the recording probably, and the DVDs, and then probably Adult Swim. They'll play the real version.
Well, I mean, even we do that on the air too. If like we're going to do a bit, like my partner got screwed by an airline company that shall remain nameless because they have lawyers, and he was sitting next to, this is a true story. He was sitting next to a pilot from that airline that was flying for free on the way back from where he was flying from. So he positioned his cell phone, so like he had his cell phone up, so that the pilot could see what he was texting to his wife. And he was texting like, "This airline sucks a big bag of fucking piss." and this and this fucking, I will never fly this fucking piece of shit airline again. And like was these really, really profane texts. And the funny thing about it is he doesn't text like that. So his wife is writing back like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? And he said, never mind. I'm just fucking pissed. And like he put this whole thing, told the story on the air. But in order to make that story work, you have to swear and then you edit it, you bleep it afterwards. Because so when they're in there doing the voice readings for the cartoon, they have to say it. Otherwise the impact isn't the same. And then they edit in post-production.
And sometimes it's actually funnier with the bleeps. The bleeps, the bleps, the blips.
Can be, yeah.
Beep.
Beep.
What is
that noise?
that is some great, that background noise. What is that?
Is that my chair?
I'm like, is that me?
That's that sandwich in the microwave.
No, it was like no, it was like there was some serious air being pushed somewhere.
That's the sound in the bathroom after he eats that sandwich at 3 a.m.
Oh God.
After that after the hots, huh?
Yeah, the fox.
Man, I don't care what you say. It's going to be a good sandwich.
How was it? There's a great one. There's a great Family Guy going back to the Family Guy one where he was supposed to be. It was bitching about the FCC, and he's in front of Congress, and you just hear this long rip. He goes, "Gentlemen, that was a fart." I just love that. I isolate that every once in a while. Gentlemen, that was a fart.
Need that for Nesdall.
Why does Nesdall fart during the show?
Yes, he does.
Yes, from time to time.
Does he really?
He's known to let a
That's
few rip.
awesome.
He did twice on
That's-
Tuesday.
Lean over.
Last night, Friday. Yeah, he did a couple times last night.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. And his mic picks it up.
Yeah.
It's like his mic picks everything up.
Occasionally, yeah.
That's awesome.
But Johnny will be like,
That's some
"What
funny
was
shit."
that?" And Dave will just be like smiling, like,
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
We good,
Well,
guys.
we didn't get to talk about guitars.
Yeah, we talked about guitars and wrestling and pizza and pies. And...
I got to use the room real quick. I'll be right back.
All right.
okay.
Yeah, and then we can do it.
By the way, I have a pile of guitar cases right here on the floor. Because now the dogs are like, "What are you doing? Are you building a tree fort? What are you doing over here?" Dogs can't get anywhere near me now.
Well, thanks to everybody tuning in.
Absolutely. We got 80 watching. Good. That's not bad. 63 thumbs up.
80 watching at 3:30 in the morning Eastern time.
I know.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's pretty good.
Thank you very much. Oh, 79.
Uh-oh. Fading fast.
They're done. They're quitting. They're like, oh, they're like the guys at the with the last 5 minutes of a Raiders game when they're being blown out. See ya. Going to the exits. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, I missed the speaking of sports, I've missed the first couple Bruins games because they're late nights. They're West Coast games. So, did you watch
Yeah, they
any
were
of
here
them?
tonight.
Yeah,
They were here tonight.
Yeah, did you watch any of the first couple games? I don't even know if
No,
they won.
no. I think this might be their second game or third game.
Yeah, I think they opened in Dallas.
Yeah, they won that game, and I don't know if
Okay.
they played last night, but I know that they're here tonight. I could probably get you a score. Chances are they won
Chances
because
are.
the Coyotes are not good.
Well, I think it was one of the video game companies did a whole a whole season. They run like a simulated season, and the Bruins. They're saying the Bruins are going to win. EA Sports or something like that.
They are like hell. They should have won last year.
Yeah, well,
Pissed it away.
they weren't the better team. I'll go on record to say that. You know, the other team.
They didn't want it bad enough.
Nope.
They got outplayed.
I can't even think. Who were they playing? Was it Vegas or who were they? No, it wasn't Vegas.
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
St. Louis. This is how you know. This is how you know the NHL is fucked. You go to ESPN.com. Across the top, they've got NFL, NBA, MLB, NCAA football, soccer,
And then-
MMA, and then other.
Yep.
Like when the NHL is below MMA, your sport is fucked.
Below other.
Yeah, you're a puppet show versus Spinal Tap. 1-0 final, a barn burner.
Yeah.
Bruins beat the Coyotes 1-0.
Thank you, Zach Thong. I guess Paul, you don't rock so much, but me, Johnny, and Jay rock.
I don't rock. I'm over it.
Oh,
I don't rock. I
Mark
used to
Taylor-
rock.
Mark Taylor says it was good to hear Neanderthal again. Hope you guys have him back sometime. Sometime.
You can't get rid of me now.
Paul is becoming a regular now. It's a good thing.
You know, well, I appreciate that. It's funny. Every week somebody goes, "Hey, you're going to be on with Johnny Beane this Saturday?" I'm like, if he lets me, if I get invited, I'm not going to just fucking show up. And then like this afternoon, I get the, "Hey, you coming on tonight?" Oh, yeah, all right, I'm in. So I appreciate it. I'm more than happy. Look, I obviously have nothing else to do tonight. This is what a divorced guy at 51 who owns Family Guy stuffed animals does on a Saturday night.
Well, it's fun. Every week it's fun. It's always good.
Yeah, and I got to give Jay shit just for a second because of the Bears. Just for tomorrow.
That's all right.
that's
Just
tomorrow?
for tomorrow. That's it. Yeah.
Then we can be friends again Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, we will be friends at 4 p.m. when the clock reads 0. 4 p.m. Eastern, when the clock reads 0. I used to love that. Like people, like I have friends in Kansas City that get so bent out of shape when the Chiefs lose, which is awesome. Like I love people that take football way too seriously as a fan. Said the guy who has a Raiders tattoo on his leg. But what? Like they're like, my fucking day is ruined. It's ruined. Ruined. 53 guys who have no bearing on my life whatsoever lost a football game.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
Are you that guy, Jay? Yeah.
My wife
can't-
wife is happy when the Bears win, not because she's a huge football fan, because then she knows that I'm going to be in a good mood for the next 6.5 days. That's why.
What? And I mean, if we're going to degenerate into football talk, what are you going to do about that quarterback? He is not a franchise quarterback.
I don't know, man.
My guy's not a franchise quarterback, and he's more of a franchise quarterback than your guy.
Yeah, they're
My guys.
They're in a pickle because the defense is championship
Super good.
defense. I mean,
Yeah.
those windows aren't open for very long in the NFL nowadays. So
No, you got to wonder if they try to, if they get 4 or 5 more weeks into the season and we start talking about trade deadline, if they start trying to swing a deal for somebody who's unhappy somewhere.
I don't know.
I'm a veteran that can come in and take them where they need to go. And I'm in the same boat. I've got a guy that the Derek Carr is not a franchise quarterback. He's too small, and
Doesn't he play drums? Doesn't he play drums?
No, that would be Eric Carr, Paul Caravello, dead.
Oh,
Dead.
Oh,
Yeah. Died of heart cancer. Not a heart attack or cancer, but heart cancer. What the fuck? That's how you know you've drawn the bad card. When you die of a heart attack or cancer, but you can't have both.
well, apparently. Both.
Both.
Ah. Ouch.
Well,
Yeah.
everybody have a great rest of your weekend.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
All right. We're gonna
Thank you, Johnny.
thank you, man.
Ooh.
Thank you, everybody. Jay Hannon, Neanderthal, John VL. And before everybody jumps out, leave a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. And let's send you guys over. It looks like Alex Radford is live right now. He has 5 people watching him.
Ooh.
All right.
Let's
So
get in there.
everybody, here, let's jump over there. Jump over to Alex's where can I copy it?
You got it.
I'm on a map.
And say, why weren't you in the Johnny Bean show?
But he was.
Oh, okay.
He was, but so you guys, everybody jump into that video right there. And say Johnny Bean raid. Is that it?
Oh, he's
That's it.
pumped. He's pumped.
Everybody jump in. Everybody jump over there.
lead, the
Do we gotta?
loop pedal?
Yeah. Let's switch.
Okay, you guys hear it? That's I guess they're rocking out. Well, I don't know what that music is, but everybody jump over there. Jump over there. Say Johnny Bean Raid. There we go. John BL's over there.
I love this. This is like this becomes a handoff deal. This is where everybody goes now. This is the internet at its finest.
Looks like, is that a Petrucci he's playing?
Everybody jump over there. Even if just for a second, just jump over there. Give them a thumbs up.
Am I the one that's going to say might as well jump?
Let's see.
Come on, I guess
More
I
people
am.
get in there.
Yeah, they're up to 12. Keep going. Keep going.
What doing tonight?
They're rocking out. They're up to 15.
Oh, he's a
Yeah.
Packers fan. I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
Oh, look at Ned.
It's good. Big Ivan has banner back there. Looks like.
Nah, I can't watch him. He's a Packers fan. We're mortal enemies. It's just like it just has to happen.
Oh, we're having the Johnny Bean Raid.
There we go.
Ooh, let's hear this guy for a second.
These guys are rocking out.
Listen to this guy.
Keep going. We're up to 15. Everybody, get out of here. We're done. Jump over there.
Nothing to see here. Ned's even leaving.
Remember, guard your privacy.
Ned's gonna head over there. I the song is not copywritten.
Mikey Statenmeyer.
Wait, is that the right thing? Yeah. Keep going. Everybody, jump over there. Jump over there. They're up to
We're getting all
14.
the people in the raiding.
Okay, well, I'll do that.
Thanks.
All right. So I just threw in there, strangle that neck.
I see that, yeah.
Dig.
Okay. All right. There we go.
So that was funny.
There we go.
Put out the gun show. Well, where's chicken guitars?
How's everyone doing, man?
How is
Yeah, we're putting out the
everybody?
gun show. Zach Thong, baby.
Slap them lights.
Oh, man,
Spank them
Chicken
out.
Guitars went to bed, man.
Yeah.
Neanderthal, they
17.
grinded that neck. That's what we do, man. That's all we do, man.
There we
just
go.
like
Yeah, everybody
we
jump
like to
over
play
there.
guitar, talk gear and stuff. Here's a good question for all you guys that just jumped in the chat. Who are your guys' top guitarists of all time? I
Go.
want to know that question. That since all you guys are coming in here from the Johnny Bean, I know.
How's it going, Soda?
I know you guys are definitely gonna
Neanderthal Radio.
definitely
how's it going?
have a thing for that. You guys, I can see you guys
Spank them
all
lights.
doing that.
Strum those
Why am I
legs.
hearing two different people talk
Strum those
separate
subs.
times.
On
Just
Palm 36
elbow
Soul,
drop those
where am I?
lights.
I don't know. Where are you, man? It seems like you're here over in the Alex Radford channel, man. Les Paul.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
There we go. But no. Are we done? We still have 60 people sitting here.
So,
Go
you know what
over to-
I wonder, can you tell how many people left and came back?
No, it wasn't many. I think 10 people went over there.
Oh, Jesus.
All
right, well, it's nice to have everybody. Now those guys. It sounds like one of those guys is Canadian, or at least a Yooper, upper Midwest, upper Peninsula guy.
I don't know.
Like Fargo, North Dakota. Eh?
Alex Radford, he lives here in California. He lives
Okay.
he lives near Sacramento. So he's not too far from me. The other guy in there, I don't know where he is. I don't know.
Is that the guy that looks like Bumblefoot?
The guy with the beard. The other dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that dude. I know Alex because Alex, he's always jumping into our chat, you know.
Yeah, I
That's
think
how,
I've heard you mention his name before.
that's how I know him. Yeah. Yeah. What is that? Tommy Guitar Fender? Huh? It's holding your message. What is all that? Oh, it's like speaker cabs. Can you guys see that? You guys
No,
can see
I got
that.
a split, boys. 3:30.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, everybody's out.
I'll talk to you guys later. John, Paul,
Take it easy, Jay. Thanks.
Johnny.
See you, Jay.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Good night.
time.
I love you, man.
I love you too. Bye.
Wow.
Rock on.
Hug it out.
All right.
So, John.
Now we can start.
John,
Yes.
break out that sandwich.
Oh, is it sandwich time?
Just
It's
about.
sandwich time, and he's got to eat it. He's got to eat it while we're still live. You can't. Yeah,
No, man.
quote-
I gotta. Prepare it. I gotta.
He's
put
got a
the-
got ready for that.
Yeah.
See. I saw the movie Dirty Harry. I gots to know. I gots to know. You ask yourself: is it 7 or is it 6? Is it 5 or is it 6? Is it 8? Is it 9 inches? I gots to know.
Oh,
You got to ask.
What is the sandwich? What is the sandwich, by the way? Again,
What do you mean? What kind?
yeah.
Italian.
You put capicola on that bitch.
I don't know. Do they? However it comes.
All right. You don't know what's on an Italian sandwich?
I know what's on it. Everything except for you got to get it. If you're getting it for later, you got to get it dry. So everything on it with and dry. Onions.
Do you have some oil? Do you have oil to put on it later?
Little mayo.
But do you have the oil? The salad oil to put on it?
No.
Little olive? No.
No. Well, I do have
it's not
olive
gonna
oil. I could put it on there, but I prefer a little mayo on there and the hot peppers.
All right, break it out.
hot.
I got that sandwich. Open up the bread. Everybody needs to know.
Yeah,
They got to know.
I'm not going to do that. I already showed you. Maybe I'll put a picture in the Discord.
Oh,
Because there is the what you're eating
yes,
section. So
that's right. That's
I'll
right.
do that. Go
Oh,
over
awesome.
to the Discord.
Awesome.
And I'll
By the
put I'll do like a whole food channel prep. I'll put it on a nice plate with throw some chips on there and make it look presentable.
Oh, I'm getting hungry again. That sounds good.
All right.
The minute we shut this thing down, I'm going to grab some food. I got
I
some
know.
food here somewhere.
And I'm going to shut it down right about now. So, are we good?
Good talk, Russ.
Thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
And have a great week, everyone. We'll see you again for next week's show. And tune in to watch Johnny and the boys on Tuesday and Friday night. And Paul, tune in to, check out Paul's blah, 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 blah. Paul's radio show if you're in the Arizona area. And his.
Well, I'm sure it's online
Go ahead.
too.
What's your.
If you go to neanderpaul.com, that's my website.
Neanderthal.
There's a link up there that will listen live link so that you can listen to the radio station KSLX that we do our morning show on.
Excellent. I got to do that someday. I have not listened to it.
It's
I
well, the
heard
good part about it is
your Roth interview. That was cool. But,
thanks. Yeah, no, that's we're on was it 8 to noon your time. So or 8 to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 8 to 1 your time. Because we do a 5-hour show. We're on at 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Arizona time, which is sometimes Pacific and sometimes Mountain. It's Arizona.
I used to live there, so I can laugh at that.
Yeah, no, we're one of the few places in America that doesn't observe daylight savings time. So it sort of sucks for like prime time or for football. Like half the year we get football at 10 a.m. on a Sunday and then 11 a.m. for the other half of the year. The rest of the country observes daylight savings time. We do not. And there's like an area in the Midwest too, like in Indiana or something like that, that doesn't observe it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have to get up at 3 a.m. every Monday through Friday.
Ah,
Man, that's rough.
Yeah. Beats working.
Well, I hear that. All right. Let's end this.
Enjoy.
Good night,
Good
all.
night.
I don't know how to do that. You guys do it.
I'm leaving. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
He just left.